Jim.
How are you guys doing today? This is TeamBakin, and we are doing Project Albion. How are you guys doing today? This is TeamBakin, and we are doing Project Albion. You know, we decided yesterday after our stream that we kind of left a few points out that we want to hit on this morning or this evening as we are starting our stream. You know, if everybody notices, new character, different mount, and there's things that we needed to go over as we started.
Hey there, Jab.
And hey, Jab, how's it going, bro? We decided we forgot an aspect of this game that most people are going to do and play, which is the gathering side of the game. You know, Albion is nothing without the gatherers. And we kind of skipped a lot of that and crafting your own gear along those lines, and we figured, you know, as we start out, this is one of the bullets that we need to go over with you guys. I know, Jab, I know you know how to do this, so. What game are you streaming tonight, by the way, bro? We are gonna make our way towards town, and we're gonna start going over a few of the mounts, items like that you know, we kind of skipped over. So but we're obviously gathering a little bit of resources along the way because we need these for later levels, for tools, for weapons, items like that. So
For anything you could ever want.
and for anybody who wonders, like, the biomes, this game is made of multiple biomes. Each biome has 3 resources. If you look at the top of the map, you can see what's in each zone. That's to be aware of as you're working your way through, that you're gonna have to go to multiple zones. You can't just stay in one zone forever and live there. So
Your farming map is broken? Is it your tractor farming map? Hey, keep your feet off of that.
sorry, we got a little bit of a late start. You know, our kid decided, you know, he is not quite ready for a nap yet, so we'll get there.
How'd it break, Jab?
And how's everybody else doing tonight? Feel free to ask any questions about the game as we get going here.
Yep, we love all sorts of input. If you have any specific questions, go ahead and ask. If you just want to chat, we're willing to just chat about other things as well.
Oh, your modded map quit working? Did the host of it drop, or are you just having issues with it, like restarting?
Love you. You're just all limbs.
Alright, we're going to go over mounts to start with. You know, everybody as you come into the game, you're going to start with a low-level mule. That's how the tutorial ended yesterday. We were running around on our mule, and then we decided, you know, we need to go back, slow down a little bit, and not get too far ahead of ourselves by just jumping right into dungeons, anything like that. So this game does have multiple styles of mounts. And different tiers of mounts depending on what you have.
What does the ox do for you, love?
Alright, we'll go over the ox for you. I know you know all about this, Jab. So the ox is going to increase your max load as long as you're on it or in the radius around your mount. So when you dismount from a mount itself, you're going to see a little circle around it. As long as you're within the perimeter of that circle, whatever the animal provides to you, you get those benefits by being around it.
Okay. And I will be right back. It's time to put the monkey down to sleep. Wow.
Somebody has fun. He's ready to go all night. With our ox in particular, it increases your max load, so as you're out gathering resources, you can carry more. So the more resources you get, it gives you a weight. Up above here's the weight that you have on your person. And then as you equip a mount, you can increase how much you carry. And without the mount, you're going to see we're at 167%. The wife ditched me, bro. Yeah, shh, we're not going to talk about this, you know. I put a little bit of work in today. We decided, you know, we needed a TeamBakin character instead of just some random character, so I deleted I Know CPR, spent a few hours this afternoon re-leveling my character, getting T4 unlocked, and gathering some basic maps so that we could get in here and actually show content instead of us just gathering the whole entire stream. So I'm taking it when you guys get to this phase in the game, you're at least going to have a basic concept of how the basic towns work, things like that. If you don't know how they work, you know, when you get into your basic starter city, in our case it's Steep Cross, remember there's T2 resources of every resource within this town itself. So if you need a boost, say your tool breaks, you can make a T2 tool just from this town. And I always say I like to be self-sufficient. Where? Well, here's us T2 trees. We got our T2 leather. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there, Jab. Jumping the gun.
We got fiber.
First, people need to know how to make the stuff.
And we got our ore. I gotta check and make sure I have a stone hammer, because we're gonna find that. Or maybe not. Oh, I might have lied. There might be everything but stone. That's why we can't have nice things. There's the stone. You know, and as you're progressing your character up, you know, feel free to take some time, learn that tool, work on that crafting. And we really didn't talk about tools in general. So when you start out with, everybody's going to have T2 tools as you come into this town. Work your way up to T3. In order to get T3 though, you're going to need T3 refined. And as we realized yesterday, we were farming out here in the desert biome, we did not have wood. So we ended up having to go a zone over, find a territory that actually had wood in it, and go get us some T3 wood.
Hold up, Bacon. Open your map again. You're missing something.
What am I missing?
Right there.
What?
There was wood in that zone.
Yeah, this one has wood. That's what I was talking about. We're getting there. We're getting there. Everybody wants to get right to the good stuff, and we figured you got to do a little bit of the grind in order to get there. So the point we're getting at on the Destiny board is you start using your tools, you're going to start unlocking your tool tree. And each tool has its own progression as you start going through it. So as each tier, you can see I've been out doing quite a bit of skinning today. We're working our way up to T4 and haven't quite got anything else up there yet, but we need a new knife for our skinning. So But before we get there, we're going to go over a little bit of gear and leveling gear, crafting gear. We got us some T3 refined. We're going to make us some T3 chests. So when you craft an item, it has a required amount of refined resource that you need in order to craft that item. So as you're gathering, get the resources, make the gear up. But by just crafting it, I'm into T4 gear now, so I really don't need this item. So a way to get extra experience, you can craft. And if you see 180 for that, well, you can go in and you can study the items that you're crafting. Say you don't want to sell it on the auction house and you have a lot of those resources. You can refine them up and you can study these items. So when you study them, you get double the points that you get for crafting them. Why do we do T2 and T3 here? Why not in the city? The reason why you want to do your T2, T3 here is it costs nothing. So when you look into a city, we went over this in our last video, but cities have taxes and people control the tax rate of those. And as you're a new player starting into the game, you're not going to have a lot of silver, you're not going to have a lot of money to pay somebody else to use their building. So by staying in this town and progressing at least to your T4 unlocked, you might not be able to craft the T4, but you can unlock the ability to craft T4 by just staying in this town, and it costs you nothing. So it's one of the benefits as a new player. You can come into this town, you can progress to T4 unlocked, being able to wear it, and then as we move to the next town, last time we went and talked about going and buying our first T4 set of gear. Now we're going to talk about being self-sufficient and more or less being able to craft that item. And if you saw that we're studying, we're going to work our way till we get T4, at least our chest piece, unlocked here. And the grind begins, you know? And every time, if you look at this, you can make multiples, depending on how many you want. And you can craft those up, and then you can mass study the item that you just crafted. So remember that as you're going through it, you know? This is one of those games, it's the grindy side of the game, but it's a very, very big part of the economy. It's a part of your character. You know, I always suggest unlock at least up to T5 of what you're using. That way, if you die in the game, you can always go make your gear back. So, because dying is gonna happen. And if you guys saw, milestone mastered, T4 unlocked. You know, as you go refine those up, you start studying, and now we can study T4 items, but we can no longer study T3 items. So just be aware that once you master that level, you can no longer study that tier of gear. So T3 we can study till we hit T4, T4 till we hit T5. But remember, it changes after that because you can keep studying T4 to unlock T8. So be aware that once you get to T3, it's going to tell you you can no longer study that item. But realistically, you can study it and study it after T4. Oh my goodness.
Trade and craft, that is a cat.
That's a rat. It's definitely a rat. How are you doing today? It just showed up one day. We haven't been able to get rid of it. I think there's an infestation going on. Now we need to make a higher tier skinning knife here. And as you see, as you unlock it, it goes from red to more or less you can visibly see it. So,
well, thank you for joining in and watching us trade and craft.
That's a good thing. It's always good to be home from work.
Yep.
And we're going to craft some of these other tools as we start unlocking them, just to have on hand. Doesn't ever hurt to have one or two. And I suggest when you first come into the game and you're making your first set of tools, make extra. Lobby tools, make 2 or 3, because as you start using them, they're going to take durability damage. And when they get to 0, you no longer can use them. You can always repair them, but when you first start playing Albion, you're going to be broke. Everybody's broke. And if you look at that, you might not have 300 silver even to start with to make it. And it's way easier to just make your own. And when you get done using it, just throw it away.
It's pretty easy to make them too. And it doesn't take much resource. It doesn't take much time. Not really worth it to keep them.
And remember when you're making your gear choices, as you're going over the Destiny board, figuring out what items you want to use and unlock, look what resource it takes to craft them. And place yourself around a zone that has that resource. And as we were talking about mounts earlier, you're going to have an option when you go onto the market, because to start with, if you're a free-to-play player, you're not going to be able to grow your own mounts. So remember, when you go looking for a mount, this is probably not the best town to buy one in. I would move to at least Bridgewatch, move to the main city before you start buying your mounts, just because the price is going to drop. But you can see a T3 riding horse. They have an increase in load over a basic armored horse. And we'll get into those as we get a little bit farther out of town. And then as your ox, everything progresses. The carry weight increases depending on the tier. The higher the tier mount, the more you can hold. The higher the tier bag you have, the more you can hold. So just remember your max load. And a lot of shoes, if you're just out gathering, you can increase your max carry load by just switching the passive on your shoes. Alright, babe.
I know, I'm pretty quiet today, aren't I?
My wife's been teaching all day today, so she's
I
got to
just
deal
got
with
off
children
of work
all day.
myself, so...
And I think we're going to go start working our way. Where are we headed to, babe? You pick the direction and I'll follow you.
I get to pick the direction? If I'm picking the direction, I think we should go to Bridgewatch so that we can show them those mounts.
Alright, I guess we're going to go over mounts here. We're riding to Bridgewatch.
Making myself a better skinning knife quick, though.
And if you guys have any question, are new to Albion, wanting to get into Albion, Albion becomes free to play April 10th. So now's the time. If you're looking at it, you know, get ready for the 10th, a couple weeks away now, and pick up the game. It costs you nothing. You can unlock premium. Our goal with this Project Albion is actually to make new characters and unlock premium without using any real money. So everything's going to be earned in-game. We're going to play our way to premium. So, and from premium, we're going to go into creating islands, which is one of the perks you get when you have 30 days premium.
Yep.
You know, as you get through the basic tutorial, you get 3 days to start with. But if you see, there's a silver value, which is in-game currency, that you can purchase premium by just playing the game. So,
and this game is super fun. Once you get a basic grasp on how the mechanics of the game works, it really opens up and makes it so that you can really do a lot of things to just have a great time.
So Jab, if you're not able to get your tractor server to work, you still going to be playing your farm simulator, or are you going to be playing some Albion with us?
Yeah, you could stream Albion or just play with us or something.
My silver count, we are almost 25,000. You know, I may have splurged a little bit, bought some 4.2 gear, which we will go over the tiers of gear, why you want certain tiers, why you don't. You know, in this game, we're going to get into the PvP side of the game, and eventually you're going to die. So any gear you decide you want to wear, make sure you can replace it. Don't just go jumping into something with no money and not being able to replace the gear that you have on, because once you die, you're dead. You do not lose your money or your gold, but you do lose all the items inside of your inventory and all the items on your character.
What do you think, love? That is a question for
if
the
we're going over
person that goes
war
over...
bows, honestly, leather's not bad for your chest and shoes. You could play full leather. I know a lot of people that do, but if you're wanting to spice it out, you want to get a little bit more DPS, go with a cloth chest piece. Depending on which one, you know, you can go mage robe, cleric robe. That's going to be your increase in DPS. If you look at the stats on them, with cloth armor, you get an increase to your physical damage, you get an increase to your magic damage, you know. And as we go, if we go inspect the leather piece here, you're going to see there's going to be a reduced level. So 20% on this item. And then when you go to plate gear, it gets even less. So remember, if you want the optimal DPS for a character and you're wanting to push the numbers, put a cloth chest piece on. That's where you're going to get the best out of it. So... and if we go over plate, you see 10%. So it drops down depending on the heavier the armor, you get more resistances, but you give up something to gain something. So sometimes being squishy and doing a lot of damage is better than being super tanky and not being able to deal any damage. So, and if you're wanting to do a lot of, say, random dungeons, things like that with the bow, I suggest picking a different bow besides warbow. Warbow's nice. For the PvP side, you can do damage with it, but if you're wanting to mob clear and things like that, anything from the longbow just gives you a big AoE, so you can kill more adds. So as your tank's pulling mobs, putting them together, you can kill a lot more mobs with, say, Rain of Arrows over the AoE from the warbow. So just remember that as you're looking through abilities, you know, pick for the group. Are you a solo player? Do you like to group play? You know, and pick the weapon according to that. So, and bow's never a bad choice. So, I guess we're gonna go over mounts here real quick. Let everybody see at least the basics.
Bacon,
out of
I
it.
found the perfect mount for you. You better get in and buy this T4 horse.
Am I a wallet warrior today?
No, it's only 14K. You can afford it, but you want it. You know you do. You
can run the helm, so we can explain a little bit of gathering stuff. Let's go over mounts, and then we'll get on to gathering gear. How about that, before we get too much going on here?
You can tell them why I said you want to buy this one.
Is it Masterpiece?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, it is. 14K.
Just what I always wanted. You better pull out the money. Oh.
I can't afford it, otherwise it'd already be bought.
Watch this. Basics of this game. Every item has a quality. The better the quality, the more the item is worth. Somebody come buy this mount. Alright, let's go over mounts in general. So, as you start in the game, you're going to have a mule. One of the best things to upgrade first is actually your mount, because the higher the tier mount, the faster you move, the more you can carry. Just remember that you are going to be capped by your adventurer level. So as you progress through the adventure itself, you start unlocking tiers. So this, we can start riding T5 when we get there. Currently, we're a T4 adventurer. But just remember, as you progress, the more you play, the more you can unlock, all the way up to the T8 mounts. So just be aware as you're progressing that way. There's another progression also, which is your Reaver status. And as you unlock your Reaver, it increases the damage you do to that tier of mobs. So damage versus T4 creatures increased, T5 creatures increased. So you want to get the Reaver of the mobs you're farming. So if you're farming T5 mobs and you only are a T4 Reaver, you're actually kind of losing out on damage doing it. So, and most groups do not like that. So spend some time, get your Reaver up, get your adventure up, so you can use better mounts. And the better the quality of the mount, the better the level. the more you can do with your mount. So if we look from the mule to a T4, you get an increase in carry weight. And a basic riding mount does not have armor, but it has movement speed and carry weight. Now when we get to the armored horses, which obviously we don't got one there, but T5 armored horse, it has a reduced carry weight, but increase to the resistances, so it's harder for somebody to kill you. A lot of the times when you're out gathering, you take an armored horse. That way if you're dismounted, your weight that you have in your inventory is the same as when you're mounted on your horse, so you don't end up overweight, unable to run. So when you get overweight and you get over 100, it starts going yellow and you slow down a little bit, and then it will go red to more or less you stand in place. So if you're on a max weight ox and you get dismounted, you're going to sit in place and they're going to kill you because you can't run away. So just be aware. And then there are rarer mounts in the game that are kind of different qualities. There's really not a lot on this auction house, sadly, to show you guys. But with this Frost Ram right here, it was last month's season challenge here, the Adventurer Challenge. So if you have premium, and when you get to unlocking premium, you're going to get the ability to get to the Keeper Challenge. And every day as you start faming, you unlock the bar farther and farther, and eventually you get to where you get a free mount out of the gear, you get loot boxes that have a chance for XP scrolls, items in the game, repair scrolls that make it so as you're damaged, you more or less repair everything for nothing. So just be aware, there are some perks of having premium in this game. So get premium. That's our goal with these characters, is to unlock premium, get access. We're about to start a new month, so we're going to see what mount comes out. And we're about to end a season, so... And once the season ends, all these territories around are going to start coming up for grabs until the new season. So, and then once the new season starts, everything resets, all the guilds reset, and then it's more or less everybody's going out on a land grab to get more and more land. So...
Yep, so while those territories are being grabbed by people, it is actually a little bit more dangerous in the game. They have the ability to kill you in yellow zones if they think they're going to threaten their claim to their territory. If they think you're a spy or something, they might kill you. So just be a little bit more aware in the game if you see a murder ball coming anywhere, and just watch out, I guess.
And trading craft, I suggest one of the best things to do, get into a guild early. Find a guild, find people to play with. That's always your best bet also. You know, we were talking about making a guild here, and then we decided, you know, for you guys, it's better to let you guys go find a guild instead of us making one, because as we're starting the stream and doing stuff, we're not going to have time to do like the guild master roles and being able to keep everybody engaged in the game itself when we're out of the game doing other stuff. You know, I feel like we'll not benefit you guys as the community and players by being, hey, here's a guild, join our guild. You know, we want you guys to go find a home, experience that with other people as well. You know, we are here if you want to play with us, you know, as we're streaming.
Yeah, we're willing to play with you whether or not we're guilded with you.
Regardless of who you are, what guild you're in, even arch players. I mean, we'll accept arch players to run with us, so. And if you get into crafting, remember, as you progress into crafting, you get to where you can wear more or less gear based around that tool that you're wearing. So you unlock Skinner gear, mining gear, rock gear, and all of those have stats. The issue with wearing these gears, there's pros and cons. If you're wanting to be a gatherer in the game, and say today you're going to go out and skin, put on a Skinner set of gear. You get an increase in the proc chance of the item that you're skinning. So there's a better return into your pocket. So if you're going out on a gather adventure, remember you're missing out on stuff if you don't wear it. But when it comes to skinning and you kill mobs, you get fame for killing mobs. You don't get XP towards your main gear that you're wearing. In order to progress with XP in the gear, you have to have that gear on your character when you're killing mobs. So if I have a skinning chest piece on, I'm not getting fame towards the chest piece that I'm wearing in the game. So just remember that part. And every weapon, so even if you unlock a tool, you get T5 tool, you can wear T4 gear, you can wear T5 of, say, Skinner garb, if that's the weapon that you have or the tool you have unlocked. So as you progress up those trees with what you're wearing. So and if you have any other questions, Trade, let us know, or anybody else. By the way, Nishko, we appreciate the mount earlier today and the advice as we were playing, so.
Oh, and Jabs wanted you to talk about the sparkles in the crafting too.
We're gonna ride out to a zone here, so.
Yeah, it might be a good time to talk about that once we find some.
Let's go for a little bit of a ride out here to the zone in front of us. Head out northeast here, babe.
Okay.
And just so you guys know, we are going to be doing a YouTube series following as we progress through the game until we get to the end.
Yep, so if you missed a piece, then you can always go back and watch it. You said northeast, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So and as you're starting to progress out, I advise get your T4 tools unlocked. Push them out. We're going to be doing that mostly off stream unless you guys want to watch on stream us sit and gather until we get there. Because you do not want to pass up. Remember, with the T3 tool, I always advise never upswing. Upswinging decreases the speed that you can gather the resource. So if you're upswinging, you're losing out. You're hitting the resource slower. And if you gather multiple T3 nodes to unlock your T3 tool, it will be way faster than just sitting and trying to upswing on T4. So it's one of my big pet peeves, I guess. You can unlock everything in this game by just gathering T4 if you put the time into it, and sometimes it's easier than running. Find a good zone, sit and gather. But we were talking about the point gear. So the difference between regular gear. Let's do some inspecting. Scarlet here has just a regular T4 helm, which is more or less your base, no sparkles around the node. And then it progresses to T1, which is a green sparkle. And in order to craft that tier of gear, you have to have the uncommon of the regular resource. And every resource will have 4 different resource values up to T3. You start at the base, and then you can gather up to T4. So. And if you look, let's go over just skin itself. You got your regular worked leather, uncommon worked leather, rare worked leather, and then the exceptional worked leather. And as you go find these nodes, they become way more uncommon. But remember, wear what you can replace. Don't go running out into a zone. Say you get your first set of 0.3 gear and you're like, yes, I'm going to run out to a red zone, and you die, because odds are it's going to happen. So wear what you can afford to make, afford to buy, afford to replace. So.
Oh, goodness. Excuse me, guys.
And yes, as Jab's saying here in chat, you know, you get no XP towards mastery. As you use a tool, when you get to T4, you increase the mastery level of that tool. We'll get on a higher tune later, and we'll go over some of the mastery or having higher mastery. The higher the mastery, the more proc chance you have, and the bigger the return when you're gathering an item.
And the quicker it is to gather it.
And one of the sad things about premium is you get an increase in yield when you're gathering. You get an increase in fame when you're killing mobs. So that's one of the goals, is you want premium. Even if you can't afford it, you start playing as a free-to-play player, you don't have the money to put into it. Put a little time into the game, unlock premium. There is a lot of perks of having it. So, silver looted, increase from mobs. You get an increased gather yield, crop yield. farm, and you get access to an island. So
basically everything you do is going to be probably about a third to twice as fast. So it is very much worth it to have the premium. And it would be so much more difficult to...
So as you're starting to progress out, every hour on the hour in all of the yellow zones, there is going to be a chest. If you look where I ping out on the map, this chest for newer players, it gives you kind of a little bit of a boost. You can pick up silver on the ground. Not very profitable to run around and pick up silver, but it's there. One of the best parts about it, though, is if you fight on this chest. Now, when we zone into this, you're going to notice we become flagged for PvP. So anybody in the area who wants to fight us, we're more or less flagged. And there is a chest in the middle of this. If you notice, 22 minutes, 5 seconds. This chest is going to become active. If you're here fighting, remember in yellow zones, you don't get knocked down. So, and everybody likes a good fight in here. If you knock to your knees, it's going to come up and have a red thing saying, click to die. Don't click to die.
Yeah,
when you do that you die for real.
Everybody gets your gear and
everything that you have on is going to die when you die. So just remember that if you click die. But if you're bored, there's a few bosses inside of here. You can pick up the silver. There's not very much silver in here. But it's still something to do if you're looking for content on the hour and you're not quite ready to go to a red zone. You don't want to do the PvP side. There's something to do there. So
here's one of the bosses down here if you want to show them
we'll
what
do
that
a little
looks
boss.
Like. Ooh, you think we can do it?
Or we're
I
gonna
bet
die.
we can do it. I bet we can do it. We just have to stay out of the AoE.
Just remember, it improves as you unlock more and more gear. Everything gets a lot easier, so. I mean, we destroyed that boss super quick.
Oh, yeah, it was so hard.
Just remember, this is not your end game. You do not want to live in these zones forever. Eventually, you want to get out, experience the world itself. We talked about yesterday progressing into the red zones, getting into Caerleon, getting into the black zone. Remember, the season's almost about to end, and then we're getting kind of a patch update that makes all of these towns, Bridgewatch, Limehurst, Martlock, Fort Sterling, every one of these towns is going to have a portal to the Outlands, which is going to be nice.
Boss. Yeah, everything is going to change. So nothing is going to be exactly the same as it is right now when it comes to just how the territories are laid out. They've got a new map that they're going to be releasing. And that new map is going to have portals to the Black Zone in it for each of the towns like Bridgewatch, which we're just out of, and Fort Sterling, Limehurst. They're all going to go to different places in the Black Zone. And so that's where a lot of people are going to be headed to the Black Zone from. So things are going to change up quite a bit once that happens.
So remember, Jab, with the new update, you're going to be able to port to a certain location within the Black Zone, but you can't port to every location. So depending on what town, we're actually going to be moving to Martlock, because that's going to be kind of where we're wanting to play out of.
Caerleon is still going to go to Mercia. Thing, so
Caerleon is all of Mercia. Everywhere else, and they're kind of doing a rework. I'll have to go get the image of the new rework, but they're kind of changing the map a little bit. So you're going to see the Outlands
just
change.
In case people don't know what Mercia is, it's the Black Zone territories that have the highest yield. So they have the yield that has the most sparkles that everybody wants. So they're more dangerous because more people that are wanting to PK people are going to be going through those zones, because it's going to be more beneficial for them to do it. And then the more crafters are going to be going there because the higher tier mats, that's where they're going to be able to get their higher tier sparkles for those mats.
And yes, it's kind of like the boats in a sense. Like every single town is going to go to a different location. They just made it into a portal, more or less, that hey, you fast travel to this part of the world, you know. And remember, right now as you're starting, if you do start and you do have premium, go get an island. always invest your silver, your gold into future investments, you know, especially early in the game. If you're just starting playing, you want to find a way to create money. You know, if it's farming, if it's growing animals, even if it's just going out PvPing, you know, find what you like to make money in the game and go start doing that. But an island is always a good investment because it's there long term. It's not something that you invest in and it goes away, you die and you lose it. An island's always going to be there. So, and when we work, because we're just starting, this is day 2 for us of getting in the game. And we can't do an island yet because we're broke. We can't afford to buy premium yet. So we're going to work our way with a brand new character up to unlocking premium, getting premium for our character, and then we're going to go through setting up an island. But if you have premium, you have a founder's account, you're getting into the game, you should set up your island. It's always a good thing to set up early.
That's one of the first things you should be doing, just because it's going to make it so that your life is a lot more simple when it comes to some things.
And if you go to make your first island, when you click on it, requires 27 more days of premium for my account to be able to unlock it. Super cheap, it's an instance zone, and we'll get to that in these videos as we get going. So, and I do not know what carrots and wheat are going for because we are not that far yet. So, hey Jab, if you want to get on, come do some randoms. I know you want to make a healer, so I heard all about you wanting to make a healer, so. You want to see if you can find us a random dungeon group, Ab?
I could look for one. I'm not sure they're gonna like our level, though.
We'll see if we can find us a dungeon group. Oh, there you go, right here.
You find somebody? T5, though.
How do you spell your character?
H-E-N-D-I-S.
We're gonna go get into a T5 random dungeon. Thing we said
Alright.
yesterday, you know, random dungeons, good source of money. Never hurts, find a group of people. If you see somebody saying looking for random, jump in, gives you something to do, especially if you're new. You get ruins, you get relics, there's a chance of books, you know, easy. You gotta have a little bit of money to make some money, so.
Oh goodness, where's town? Oh, I do not want to be in here. This is a red zone. Okay, that's the direction I was supposed to go. Well, that would have been fun. I just accidentally went into a red zone. I could have been PK'd there.
Oh, so scary. I love it, babe. Just remember, red zones, if you look down by your map, there's going to be red swords that are crossed. They're not as scary as everybody makes them out to be early game. Once in a while, you'll run into a group. If you see a big blob of people, move to a different zone. Take 20 minutes, you know. Unless you're wanting to look for a fight. You know, you see one red, there's 2 or 3 of you guys running around. Go hunt them down. I mean, I'm riding my mule, so we're good to go.
What's nice?
Did you make it to the group?
I'm in the group. I just got to drop past town first. Like I said, I went into the red zone before I went to where I was supposed to be. Made it to town. That means I can finally get dropped off so that I don't lose all this. And for those that are watching, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. If you have any questions or
hey, how's it going today?
Or anything, just let us know and we can help you out. We've been playing this game for quite some time, so we should be able to answer anything you ask. So, hey, Doran Murphy.
Tradecraft, we appreciate it to follow, by the way.
Oh yeah, thank you very much.
Sorry if I missed it.
Yeah, I can hardly see it up there, so we need to change the color of that. We were going to do that before we started streaming today, and
real life happened. So
yeah, real life happened.
I'll make it
so
a lot
we didn't
prettier,
do it.
so don't worry.
Where's that masterwork horse that I should have bought?
It's on the auction house.
I know you put it up for 45,000.
Anybody looking for a masterwork horse, you know where to find it. Bridgewatch.
I got a little bit of money finally, so I can get my
I think she does
horse.
need glasses, you know? The whole teaching look. I'm alright.
I'm wearing my contacts. Does that count?
Nope, it's not the same. Glasses make you smarter.
Glasses make you smarter, huh?
It works somehow. You know, look at me. I mean, serious, guys.
He is pretty handsome.
She drank the Kool-Aid. I'm just putting it out there right now.
Was there something in that Kool-Aid I should be aware of?
Maybe you'll figure it out later.
Hey, Morbos!
Hey, Morbos,
welcome back.
How's it going?
Were you able to get your game up and running and everything?
By the way, Morbos, if you notice something a little bit different, you're saying I'm not good looking, Morbos? I see how this is. All right, we're gonna have to talk about this. All right.
Oh goodness. It's always good having you guys interact here. It makes it a lot of fun. We really do appreciate it. Alright, well welcome, Doran. We appreciate your watching. Is there anything that you have questions about so far?
These guys need to just reset. Call it good, guys. Back up. By the way, don't be that guy. I'm that guy. And this community is very great, honestly. Albion, most every player is super helpful. So if you have any questions, you get stuck at any point in time, I guess, feel free to ask. Ask us, ask anybody. Most people will teach you how to do it. So
yep. It's a pretty friendly community, and those that are here, a lot of them have been playing since before the game released, so they have a good amount of knowledge and are just willing to show people what the game's about.
What weapon did you go with, just out of curiosity? I know new people usually, you know. Or did you watch some videos and stuff before you started?
Not a problem, Doran. That was me for up until just a tiny bit ago. And I'm still somewhat casual of a player. I've got a family, I've got a life, so I don't put everything into the game that perhaps another person would.
The nice part about Albion, it's a game you can put as much time as you want, depending on
Yep.
like what you're looking to do. You know, it's rewarding if you have a few hours. It can be, you know, depending on how you want.
Aw. How old's your little girl? See me, I just get here in time for the chest.
I might need to just remake a tank.
Alright, so just about the same age as our son then. He is just about 20 months. So he's almost to that mark. A little bit younger. Oh, that means the amount of oxes that are up there for that price by that same person. So if there's 4, it means that person is selling 4 of the same quality. If there's just 1, that means it's just 1 that they're selling.
And if they're stacked up, there's going to be like a plus or minus sign. So you're just buying the first one for that price. So they're not selling all of them for that price. So remember, when you buy it, you're not getting all 5. You're just getting 1.
Yep,
Unless
you're just getting
increase
1.
the number.
Yeah, save money and buy the cheaper one. Though with oxes, look at the quality too. Sometimes it's worth it to spend a little bit more if you have a higher quality ox. The higher quality oxes, when it comes to, like, if there's a silver border, if there's a gold border around it, bronze border, they carry more when it comes to the oxes. And it can be quite a bit more that they can carry.
Yes, make sure to take that into account.
Yep, so if it's the same price, go with the higher quality one.
And with the market, get out of the base town. You're going to start out of town. I suggest when you get to that first town, you live there for a while and unlock your stuff to T4. You can't craft it there, but a good thing to know is that town does not cost you silver to craft at. So when you move into the next zone, I don't know what town you started in, but when you get to the next zone, all of those buildings are player owned. So they set a tax rate on that building. So it's going to cost you silver every time you craft something. So live in that base town, get your T4 unlocked. If you're wanting to be a crafter, that's a good place. Unlock to that level before you start spending money, because it's just a nice, free, and easy way to learn the game, learn crafting, learn how the gear works, and then progress to the next town. But don't buy stuff on the market in that first town. Move to the next town. It's going to be a lot cheaper because there's a lot more people there. Most people start out at the basic town when they first make a character, and then they leave and don't go back. So just be aware of that. And a lot of people tend to take advantage of new people by increasing the market there. That's kind of where they make their money.
Yeah.
And move to the next town, you'll probably play half or a third of the cost just for the same exact item. So, but if you're looking to sell stuff, you could sell at that beginning town because there's going to be a good influx shortly. So,
yeah.
If you're looking at this healer, this guy's probably in T8 gear in this group here. This guy's spent some money. He probably doesn't want to fall down. So if you look, this is what we talk about, quality of gear. You see the gold border? That's a masterpiece item. So this guy, he's a wallet warrior.
All right, so Fort Sterling. That's actually where our main character is based out of. So we'll see you with our main characters, and we'll let you run around with our mains and stuff.
Yeah, and if you're looking for a group to run with, you know, we don't mind. You can join our party anytime, you know.
Yeah, we're always willing to take you guys around and help you out. Get you introduced to some of the expeditions and things like that. You can run random dungeons with us. Just send us an invite, and we'll accept your friend requests if you want them.
And remember, a good thing to learn also as you're progressing out, you know, the tutorial ends and you're kind of right before you get to the next town. Move to the next town, and that's kind of where the game realistically starts. So as you start a new character, you move to town, you know, that's when you start breaking out. But if you want to move somewhere else, remember, pick your town wisely on what resources you're picking, what gear you're wanting to wear. If you're wearing cloth, don't go to a zone that has no cloth. So
Jab, do you have to pay for what?
uh-oh. And if you guys see Jab in chat, he's one of those friends, you know. He said, I'll play Albion with you. I'll come back. I'll be that guy. And then he still hasn't logged into Albion, and he's lurking. So
you can most certainly play in our group, Jab. We'll always take you. I'm a nice one. Bacon might make you
so
pay.
you picked Bridgewatch. That's where we're actually based out of right now also. So we're in Bridgewatch right now. We're in Lazy Grass, but so you're probably still in Steep Cross. Spend some time there. Get your tools up. I would actually start working to unlock your tools to T4 if you're wanting to gather before you make it all the way. And don't upswing. So the only time I say to upswing is when you have that tool unlocked to craft. So you probably have T3 tools unlocked. I don't know if you're making them, but make your T3 tools. Start gathering a lot of T3 because you always need T3 to make T4. You need T2 so you can never gather enough Loki
You can
resources.
Never gather enough. And
just gather,
T4,
gather. So
there are some people that unlock all the way to T8 with T4. I've actually unlocked, I'm not quite there yet. I just recently started doing my crafting of my gear to higher levels. But I've got it unlocked T7 on my chest piece and T6 on my boots and hat. And it's all through T4 mats. It's very easy to unlock everything when it comes to... If you use life points, hard unlocking is a little bit harder, but the fun thing they've done is they make it so that you can use your excess items and learn them. We showed a little bit of that earlier in the stream, but it makes it so that you don't have waste. You're not just using mats and then throwing them away or throwing them on the auction house if you don't want to. You can use it to get more skill instead.
And you can add me, TeamBakin, and then add Hendis right now. That's the characters that we're on. So
that means you're higher than T2.
Yep.
T2 items it doesn't let you if you're past it.
So T2 and T3, you can't study them after you unlock it. So once you get to where you can craft T3, you can't study T2. Once you get to where you can craft T3 or T3 to T4, you can't study T3 anymore. But once you get to T4, you can always study T4. So you can actually level on some of my characters. I've actually leveled like to T7 by just crafting T4. So I go gather T4 and just study it. And it's a good way when you're starting out just to get some fast points into leveling. So I always suggest at least craft the gear you're going to use to T5, just because that's a pretty common tier that everybody uses. Even T6. T6 is not that bad to craft to, especially early game.
And Bacon, our group's getting some rage from this Hohoian. Did you see that?
And if you're wanting a video, or if you want us to stream one day of just doing only crafting for the whole stream, we could set up a stream to do that for you if you want to see a little bit more of it.
Yep, we can do that.
We don't mind making videos. We actually started out streaming something different than we're now, and then we realized there's a lot of new people coming into the game that want to see a lot of the beginning stuff and not just the end game. So
yeah, it's the new people that we decided we're going to go ahead and help for now. And we decided that might be a very positive thing since people are about to need that sort of things, and we really haven't seen anybody doing it, so we decided it might be a good time for it.
And if you know what we're in right now, we're just doing the random dungeons, which if you're looking to get fame towards your gear, a good place to start.
It's very high fame and stuff in these dungeons, and the higher level you do, the higher fame you get. And when you get to T7, T8, those ones have a ton of fame, they do. But they're more dangerous.
Well, I can show you how to do it. I can't guarantee it's done right, but I can show you how I do it. We can go with that.
Yeah, you might have to have Jab come demonstrate how it's done right. He's pretty great at it.
I actually unlocked my T8 pickaxe by only gathering T4. We talked about it a day, me and Jab. Jab's a really good friend of mine. And I went and tested it and unlocked my T8 by just gathering T4, and it was way faster than I expected it to be. You got to get to where the efficiency, and maybe we'll do that. We'll do a gather stream a day where we go out and just gather. You know, it's probably not the most entertaining thing to watch, but if you want to learn something from it.
Yeah, Jab, T4 is pretty awesome.
And while I was doing it, just remember, whatever tier you're wanting to, say if it's T4, T5, or 6, depending on how you want to level it, spend some time on that tier, because you increase the levels, you start to get to where you can increase the mastery of that level that you're gathering, and the higher the mastery level, the better the proc chances. And if you have premium unlocked, you get an extra proc chance for having premium unlocked. So by having premium, you more or less are getting 50% increase on all the resources. So for every one you're gathering, you're getting 2. So that's one of the goals in this game. You don't have to have money to get premium. We're going to get there on these lobies. But just, there's a better proc chance by having it, so.
And when I'm personally crafting, what I do is I learn all my lower level or my lower quality items, and then the ones that have the shiny silver, the actual silver border, and the gold border, and sometimes even the bronze border, I'll sell those on the auction house just because they are higher quality and more likely to sell. And then the lower quality ones, like I said, I'll go ahead and learn those ones.
And remember, if you're into the gathering side, say you don't want to do the fighting, there is gathering gear. I don't know if you were here when we were talking about it earlier, but each tool has a set of gathering gear that increases your proc chance, and it stacks up. So they go up to 10 stacks. You get it from your helm. As soon as we kill this mob, I'll go open it up here.
Hey, so and those that have just started watching, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Let us know if you have any questions, and we'll do what we can to answer. We should be able to answer pretty much anything. We've both been here since before the launch. So, hey, Peoria.
And with you, Doran, if you're wanting to just gather, unlock your tool that you're using to T4 and go get a gather set of gear. And if you look at the tooltip here, increases the gathering yield, and each piece, the chest piece, the boots, are going to give you an increase to that. Now you get a backpack, doesn't give you an increase, but it lowers the weight of carrying that resource. So every time you go out, you can come back with more. And you can wear it to the tier of the tool. It's not tied to its own thing like your other gear.
Yeah, it's just whatever tier you have unlocked.
That tool. So if you have a T8 tool unlocked, you can wear T8 gather gear. If you have a T5, you can wear T5. So remember that as you're gathering, that gear helps a lot, and it adds up.
Yeah, it makes it so that you can carry more. It makes it so that you have more proc. It's really nice. I usually do that when I'm going out gathering T8 leather.
Yes, and it's only the raw resource, like Jab's saying in there. It's not refined. It's just the raw resource of that. But if you go out and you can come back with 30% more, I mean, you're profiting by just making less trips. And remember, if you're new, invest in an ox. Go buy an ox if you're wanting to gather.
Yes.
And start stockpiling. The least trips you have to make, just remember on your mount, there's a radius around it. So as long as you're inside of that white radius, that carry weight goes to your character. If you walk out of it and you're overweight, you have to resummon your mount. So just be aware of that.
And it's nice changes that they've made to this game. We didn't have those when we first started launch, some of them.
There's no refining sets yet. That would be something that would be cool to implement, though. I would like there to be farming gear as well. Things like that, to where farming is just a profession and not just like a side thing.
But hey, once we get to the island part of things, we'll tell you about laborers. You can get back refined leather for them.
Murphy, did you start with premium account, or are you playing free account right now? I think every single account right now gets premium. Go set up your island. Pick up stone gathering and go at least make your buildings. I would suggest to at least T4 to start with.
Yep.
And there's going to be books. We can go over that later too. There's laborers on those buildings. And as you go out and gather raw resources, you get points into those books. And every day, you get resources back by turning those books into your laborers.
Yep, and it costs you nothing to just keep them going. You get the books back, so once you make your initial purchase of buying them, as long as you don't lose them by getting PK'd or something, you'll have those books forever. And you can put them on however high of tier of labor as you want, just as long as they're the same tier or bigger, you can use those books for them. So like, for example, if you have a T6 laborer and you only want a T4 for that day, you can put a T4 book on it and still get the T4 resources.
And if you have the legendary account, you started with money, you started with the legendary ox, things like that. Remember, with those, you can ride the ox right off the start. So it's one of those mounts, if you're wanting to gather, get on that mount, and it has an increased carry weight. So it carries more than just the regular T3. The journeyman ox, I think, is what it's called, and it has an increase to the carry weight. So remember that.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
You home today, by the way, Peoria, or are you still on the road? And a good thing to invest in, I always say, if you're going to spend your gold, invest in long-term things. Go find your island. Work your way to Bridgewatch. I think that's where you started out of, was the sand zone. So out in the desert. Go to Bridgewatch, get your island set up, level it up. You're going to see farming plots. The higher tier your island, the more plots you unlock, up to 5 plots on the island. Go plant some carrots. Things to be aware of, though, as you start planting, you have to focus those carrots in order to get return of seeds. Right? What are you up to? Hit him with the flex.
Hey, hit him with the flex. Sorry we never got into randoms after. We ended up having to figure out things for the stream, and then eating was pretty late too. But we're definitely going to try and do some randoms with you today. How about that? By the way, did we thank Doran Murphy for his follow?
We did, but it was very quiet. We appreciate it, Doran.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
So if you look at your character, you're going to see crafting focus. That's going to be used for your farming side. The more you farm, the lower the focus cost is to water that thing. I think the minimum drops down to 150 when you get it all the way maxed out. So just remember that. We are still right outside of Bridgewatch, bro. We are actually in a random group. So if you guys want to start a new group, I don't know if you're up with Hit 'em with the Flex, if you want to do some, you know, axe tanking for us.
Yeah, I think we would now have enough people to make our own group. And Peoria said that he found a big blue portal.
And maybe we could go over some expeditions or something if you guys want to do like a T4 or T5 expedition.
Morbos, it really depends, especially with how they're going to change the map here very soon.
And remember, build your island now. They're going to give you a free town move. So if you get your island built before on the forums, you can move it to wherever you want. So if you find there's a town you want to move to, now's the time. Build your island, max it out, because you can move it. So
yeah, and you'll have a month to move it. So you can figure out where you want. Just put it wherever you think you're going to go out of most for now, I think.
Or just where you're at. Get it set up, play around with it. You can build houses, you can build crafting buildings on that island. Just remember, a thing to be aware of also, when you refine items, each town in the Royals gives you a benefit on a certain resource.
Yeah,
so you get a 35% increased return. So base it around what resource you're wanting, what town's close to where you're wanting.
Yeah, what your main resource is going to be.
The bonus, however, is not in one of the resources that is in that node.
Yeah,
so
it's going to be
the zone. If there's cloth, ore, and stone in a zone, odds are there's going to be an increase to wood. So you have to do a little bit of traveling to get the increase.
I did bad there. I forgot that I needed to stay in the center. By the time I remembered, it just was too late.
I think my legs are about to get tired, guys. I don't know about you.
Oh,
I'm gonna go take a
wipe.
Oh, we're resetting. There's no way. Take 2.
Oh man.
These kids, don't be the guy that stands in all the fire. Hey, look, silver. Ooh, silver. Ooh, silver.
Hey, thanks,
boss.
Bacon.
Don't be that guy.
Yeah, don't be that guy.
I don't know who that guy
Bacon's showing a perfect example of who not to be.
That silver had my name on it. Everybody saw it.
Alright, let's see if we can get this creature down this time. Alright.
It might be the one that we're in.
Yeah, it might be this one.
And if any of you guys want to get into a dungeon, send TeamBakin an invite. We actually ended up remaking our character today just because we figured, you know, we need a TeamBakin
was a better name for it. we figured since we are TeamBakin, it might be a good idea to have the character be TeamBakin. Holy cow, those crows hurt.
Just sit in the middle of them.
I know. I had to sit in the middle of somebody else's crows.
Good job, guys. We actually talked about making a guild thing, and we decided it's probably not the best for you guys if we make a guild. So we're going to be streaming and playing, and we're probably not going to have time to be a good GM. So I advise, there is a ton of guilds right now.
Yeah.
Find one that fits you. If you don't like it, I always say don't guild hop, but find what suits you. Find what has players on it, your playtime, things like that. Look around. You know, you can shop around for guilds.
Find what's going to fit you, not fit yourself to a different guild.
Yeah, I'm not good at logistics. You guys would not want to follow me. I would live, you all would die. So that's just how it works. Peora, are you wanting to come to a dungeon and hit him with the flex? Are you around? Let's see if there's anybody else. Hey, we can be friends, bro. We can be friends.
We'll be friends with you hitting with the flex.
I need somebody to carry me, alright? show up with your T8 Masterpiece backpack to put us in.
Like we said, we're always willing to run with any of you guys if you want to run with us. It just didn't quite work out yesterday when we were planning to go run with you, Hit 'em. I felt really bad about that, just so you know. I saw you log off, and I'm like, aw. I felt really bad.
I think there will be space, because I'm pretty sure this group, yeah.
Yeah, this group might be breaking up, huh?
And if you're looking for a guild, push G on the thing. When you push G, we have no guild right now, but it's going to show you a lot of the guilds. If you're looking for a higher ranked guild, some of them do have requirements to get in.
Tradingcraft wants
go up
to play.
to rankings, click season rankings, and you can see the guilds that are higher, which alliances, so you can find one that's a more active guild. Remember, the bigger the guild, for you, you're going to get kind of lost in the wayside because everybody else has already done it, so most people don't want to come back and play the lower content. Once in a while, you'll find a good leveling guild, though, that will come back, play it, teach you the basics, and that's probably the best home if you're starting out.
I think we're going to have... Oh, no, we're not in the Bacon's Guild. But I think we have enough people that want to group that we can make our own group, my love.
All right, let's drop out of this then. We'll start tossing invites.
Out of this. All right, who wants an invite? Put your character names for us.
Hit him with the flex. I know you're lurking here somewhere.
We find the guild name, the Bacons, very amusing, just so you know.
Maybe I should join the Bacons. That might be where we need to go, so.
Have Team Bacon join the Bacons.
And depending on what we have in gear will be if we do T4 or T5. So if we get enough people, we can just go pretty much roll a T5 pretty easy. So.
Hey, and those that have just tuned in, thank you very much. We appreciate the watches. If you have any questions, need anything, just let us know. And we can go ahead and see if we can get you answers, okay?
There's that one guy I'm hunting for, but I don't see him. 400 dagger spec. Hey, Jab, you should get on. I know you're not streaming yet, so, you know.
We'd love to have you, Jab.
There is our next person. Add friend.
Yep, there we go. Sinister Strike.
You ready to carry us, bro? Let's head up northwest. Anybody else wanting in before we start? We are currently in Bridge Watch if you want to come do some randoms with us. And we are headed out the northwest, just for everybody. The start of this game, you're going to grind. It's a little bit repetitive on you're just going to be grinding. You're either killing mobs, you're farming. That's kind of the fun part, though. It kind of branches out. The more you unlock, the more options you have, things to do, so... I should be riding my T4 Masterpiece mount. I think that needs to happen.
Yeah, you weren't supposed to sell it again.
Hey,
I
hit
was
him with
gonna
the
buy
Fletch.
it to
Let's
ride.
rep up. Let's all go faction up right now. I think it'd probably be a good thing. I don't think any of us are locked, and I have not read it up yet, so, you know, you're welcome.
Faction up? That means I'm going to put my horse back in. I'm not rich yet.
And by factioning, so if everybody doesn't understand factioning, let's ride to town. Let's all faction up. All right, I see where you're at, bro. Because repping up makes it to where you can PvP in every zone, but you get kind of benefits for doing so. There's rewards as you play, so.
Just doing PvE or gathering will get you points towards your faction, which makes it so that you can do different things. So it is a really good idea to do it.
You unlock things like the new cape things. You can do trade routes. We'll get into that more as we get more faction points.
Yeah,
so it's probably a good
when
thing
we get
to
faction
them,
points, we'll go ahead and go into that. And it's something I look forward to Bacon teaching me too.
Hit him with the flex is the master of this. So, you know, you want to learn all about trade routes and millions a day. Or are those secrets, bro? Alright, when you come into town, every town, by the exiting portal from that town to the yellow zone, if you look how it connects, is going to have the faction master, I guess, commander. You enlist in that faction. Once you enlist in that faction, you're going to start, right now we're neutral, we have no points. You start getting points. With those points, you can buy beast hearts, which you can then in turn make into crates to make into more or less travel from one zone to the next. When you do that, though, there's a pretty good chance you're going to get some PvP, get ganked. So just be aware when you faction up, you're more or less red in every zone to all of the other town factions.
Yeah,
so we're
to everybody
Bridgewatch
else
right
that's
now.
factioned up, you're
Anybody
red to
from
them.
Limehurst, if you run into them, they're factioned. It's PvP regardless of the color of the zone. So remember, blue zones are red zones at that point in time. So
I appreciate those of you that have just started watching. Let us know if you have any questions. We've both been playing for quite a while, so we should be able to answer about pretty much anything you have questions about. If not us, then we have some other experienced players here on our channel, and they should be able to help out as well. Alright, so did we go a direction?
yeah, we went out northwest.
Northwest?
And then
Okay.
I'll ping on the map here when we get up here. Oh, right here. This is nice.
You already found one?
We're just waiting on you and Peoria.
Alright.
Let us know when you're ready, bro.
I'll wait out here for
We
Peoria.
don't have a healer yet, bro. So just remember.
Alright, so learning about the faction is going to be fun for me since I've never done it. Yep, and I see the faction rep already growing.
And you notice when we go, when you get premium, I think it even affects it also, so you're going to get an increase. But you see the faction points, the 25 we got right there for the mobs. Random dungeons, a good place to get them, so.
I probably would have been factioning up before just a couple of days ago if I had have known what benefits you can do with them. It's just not something I ever thought about. I didn't realize there was any benefits until Bacon told me there were when we were thinking about going and doing them for getting some PvP XP, and I was very confused as to why gatherers would even go out factioned up. So he sort of enlightened me about that, and that was more or less my first experience with learning a little bit about it.
And with you, Doran, faction up as you go. just remember you can get ganked. So if you're going out and you want to get a lot of points for it, you get them. Find that weird out of the way zone if you're going to do it, that there's not going to be a lot of traffic coming through, because then you're a lot less likely to get ganked. Because if you get ganked when you're factioned up, it's still full loot, so they get access to everything you have. So
yep, they will take everything.
And to start with, when you're making money, don't faction up, because if you can't afford to replace it, I can't afford to replace it, but we're doing it anyways. So
yeah, maybe not use your ox or something like that. Just anything you can't craft from stuff you gather yourself, maybe just not use those. And if you can craft the gear and if you can gather the mats to craft the gear, it doesn't really seem like it's going to be too bad of a hit, in my opinion, if you can gather it yourself.
And while we're clearing all these mobs back away from the boss, when you hit these bosses, usually they leash all the mobs around them. So when you get into a random dungeon, clear around the bosses and not just go right for the boss, because then you pull a lot more trash than you need to. So
makes it much harder to get the boss down. It's a good way to go. Crafting your own gear makes it so that it's a lot less scary to lose it.
And Dorna, if you want, we'll do a crafting day or a gathering day. And I'm going to work on this character to unlocking everything to T4, so it might not all be streamed on the gathering side of it. But we'll start a stream, and we'll at least make a video for explaining, you know, the basics, at least to low level crafting. Because once you figure out the basics, you'll probably have it figured out before we have it made. You're going to be a pro, so.
Yeah. It's pretty simple once you figure it out.
Some of the stuff that takes a little bit of getting used to, laborers. When you get your island set up, getting your first laborers set up. And buildings in towns deteriorate over time. So if you're gathering stone, there's always going to be a market for stone.
Yep.
So, but in order to craft buildings, you need stone. So it's one of those, stone takes the longest to gather because there's no sparkle. So there's no 0.1s, 0.2s, 0.3s, but everything tends to need stone. So put some time into it. Is the first thing I actually unlocked to max level, so.
Yeah, just because
and
we ended up
was
using
the last.
so much.
I usually never gather stone. I'm like, somebody else will get stone. I'll never do it. And then we ended up making a whole island by ourselves.
So, yeah.
And next thing I know, I'm max level on stone. It's like, all right, you know.
He's max level. I'm T7. Yeah, we need a lot of stone. It's something that you can never get enough of. You use it for buildings, and isn't that about it?
And free to play, remember, like as you're setting up stuff, if you're crafting low tier of gear, you're probably going to be able to sell it soon. You might not sell it today, but even when we were going through the tutorial, there's a lot of new people. The influx of people has increased a lot, which is nice.
Oh,
so
hey.
You should be able to sell all of your T4 gear, your like there's going to be a market for it. So be prepared. 2 weeks from today is when it's free to play, so.
Not even just the T4. I went and sold all my T2 stuff for, I don't know, like 100 silver each, and they all sold already. My character's poor.
There you go.
My character needed money.
We're gonna get our premium by just making
T2.
T2.
It was nice. Oh yeah, that's gonna take a while.
I think we can do that, you know.
But hey, Morbos, that's something you can do with all that T2 that you can't do anything with. Instead of trashing it, just go put it on the auction house for those that need it. Hey, 6 Coin Samurai,
nice to
good to meet you too.
Have any questions? New to this stream, we're just starting out. This is Project Albion. We are making new characters, and we're going to work our way without spending any money to unlock premium. So,
yep.
Any questions throughout, I guess, the journey, more or less, you know, we're going to try to play at least 2 or 3 days a week as we unlock. I'll probably put some off time or off screen time into this character just to get some of the professions unlocked so we can show them on stream.
Yeah, that way we're not boring you guys to absolute tears just doing some things that can be handled out of the game.
So Murphy, is this the kid who gave you the legendary founders pack, you know? He might need to be my friend if that's the case, you know.
And we appreciate all you guys that have just started watching. Like we were just saying, let us know if you have any questions.
And if you want to play with us, feel free. Send us a friend request and we'll get you in a party. So
yep, send
more
us
than
any
welcome to
requests,
come hang out.
and we will go ahead and let you in our party, and we can all run around and have fun in these dungeons together. Most of the people playing right now in this dungeon are absolute new players that have just started playing. So
Master, definitely new player. Definitely new player. I don't know where she's getting her information from.
Okay, some of them are new players. Ours count as new characters since we just barely...
I'm new. First time ever playing Albion. No, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, hang out with us, you know. That's what we're here for, so.
Sorry, guys, I'm being a newbie. I'm pulling the bosses. Yeah, not a problem, 6 coins. This will let you figure out some ways that you're wanting to go and give you a little bit of a heads up.
Well, you have 2 weeks until it's free to play, which is nice. And the nice part about free to play is it's going to bring a lot of new people in. So there's going to be new people to play with that are learning along with you. So the best things I suggest if you're looking at the game, find a build before. Find some kind of weapon, some kind of gear that you like to play. If you have any questions on builds, you're looking at a weapon, I can help you the best I can.
Yeah, Bacon's always playing around with weapons and builds, so he knows pretty much everything about them.
So my thing with any builds is early game, you're going to invest your time into unlocking it and faming it, and it's really hard to switch early and go from, say, being a healer to being a DPS. It's not impossible. Most people don't like to put that extra time in. So look at your build really well before. You know, if you want to go, in my case, I switched it up to daggers, you know, with attack speed and bleeds. But if you want to, say, play a curse staff, a frost staff, you know, check out the build before, find the route, you know. We can even go over some of the basics of what you need to unlock. Everything progresses. You start at T2 and you work your way up the tree to unlock the gear. So you have to work towards anything, and by wearing that item, by wearing a leather chest, doesn't unlock the leather helm for me. I have to wear a leather helm to unlock that piece of gear. So it's kind of a journey as you go, but it's kind of nice for the fact that you are what you wear, but make sure you look into it a little bit before, because some builds work a lot better than others. And if you pick a good build, you're going to have a lot more fun as you're leveling up. So
yep, pick something you're going to enjoy playing. A lot of people end up eventually with multiple builds depending on what they're doing.
And if you're going tank or healer, I suggest playing a DPS build also, just for when you're open world, say you're wanting to go farm mobs, have something that you can kill the mobs just a little bit faster, because tanks you can do it, healer you can do it, but it's not very efficient. So
yeah, it's pretty hard to do tank and open world, just because they do so little damage. And healer, it's sort of the same thing. They can stay up pretty good, but they just don't have that output, because their purpose is just a little bit different.
And my thing with your build with bows with heavy armor, it's not hating on it, But the heavy side of it, you're going to have reduced damage. And in order to do better damage with heavy armor, you need to wear, it's called Soldier's Armor, which gives you an ability called Fury. But in order to get that to proc, you're going to have to get hit by a mob. And if you're in a group like this, odds are the only person getting hit is the tank. So...
Yeah. Later on, we plan to actually, on our main characters, show some of the builds that Bacon's found that work really well, and talk about why he chose those specific things, and just show you those in these random dungeons so that it's a quick, easy thing where you can compare, contrast, and just see a little bit more about the different things that Bacon's talking about when it comes to just the builds themselves.
Cloth chest is a good thing to use just for the fact that you get an increase in DPS. So cloth, you get the most damage. Leather, you get the second most, and plate is the least. So depending on what item you're wearing, this is my favorite boss in the game, by the way.
Yeah, the drow.
So look at the percentage of damage. If you want to kill a mob faster, each thing has a pro and a con. So
yes, horse breeding. That is something that you build it up in levels, and you have to hard unlock it. It's not something that you can life point. I'm not sure if you know what life pointing is. Oh my goodness.
By the way, Peora, I'm sorry. This boss is awful to heal. Yeah, you guys are all... Oh, silver. Silver. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. I appreciate your donation. I'm going to get my premium just on your guys' deaths, so...
But when it comes to... Hey, hallelujah. I think we have a healer. Yeah, Peora...
If you'd like to come heal with us, we always have room for more healers, so, you know.
Yep, we have room for more healers. We have more room for DPS. Right now, we're just having fun running together and letting some of the newer players learn the world. Random dungeons, things like that they might not have as much chance to learn otherwise.
Ooh, fancy. You can keep it, bro. I got another one. Give me a second, grabbing a drink. Love you, babe.
But yeah, when it comes to horses, sounds like like 6 Coin Samurai has a little bit of interest in that. That's actually one of my specialties. So once you get your island, after you get your premium and get your island, there are plots that you can put farms. Those you can grow carrots on, you can grow wheat on them, you can grow cabbage. It's different tiers of crops that you can grow. For horses, I generally stick with carrots just because it's that first tier. If you use focus to water them, then you get enough seeds to plant 2 plots. But once you get your carrots, then you need another plot where you build a pasture, and that pasture lets you grow animals like horses, and chickens, I guess, is the smallest tier of the meat animals. But the chickens, once you grow a couple of those up, you can... No, you can grow horses immediately, can't you? Because those are tier 3. But chickens, I suggest. I'm sorry. It's much easier to show than to just tell. So chickens, those are nice to help you just get your levels for unlocking to higher tiers. They only take 10 carrots per chicken, and you get all the experience for it. They take 24 hours to grow. Horses are going to take more carrots than a chicken's going to take. And depending on the tier of horse you are doing, it costs more carrots. So if I'm doing a tier 7 horse, it costs almost 200 carrots for each day that I'm growing that horse. And the higher tier that you go, the more time it's going to take to grow that horse. So with a T7 horse, I think it's either 5 or 6 days to grow just one horse. And carrots for that amount of time can get very, very expensive. So you need another animal to help you build up your character to where you can get it unlocked to T8 without just doing horses or some other creature like that, just so that you can be able to use them and be able to get the higher tier of animal quicker.
Thanks for the host, by the way, Jab. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Jab. So once you get your tier up to specific certain level, you're gonna keep advancing through the animals. It goes from pigs, or not pigs. It goes from chickens.
Let's go find another dungeon, by the way, guys.
And goes up from there up through pigs and cows. Pigs are T7, cows are T8 that you do for meat animals. And then you can use those meat animals to, if you keep them on the plot, some of them, like the goats, if you feed them again, will produce goat milk. And you can use those in different cooking things. Or if you're like me, you just slaughter them for meat. And then you use that to feed your higher level meat eating mounts like dire wolves, swamp dragons, dire bears. All those will take meat to eat. And again, the higher tier those are, the more meat it's going to take to feed those per day and the more days it's going to take to grow them up. So what I actually do is I go 2 carrot farm plots for each pasture plot, and 2 pasture plots at least for each meat plot that I do, each kennel. And that just gives you a balance. I cannot grow 4 lizards, for example, on my kennel plot and keep them fed on just 2 of the pasture plots with animals. Or, yeah, it's pasture. So I'd actually, if I wanted to do those full time and be able to maintain them, I would need more than that. But I generally grow some swift claws or something like that, along with just a couple of the swamp dragons to negate my need for more meat, which makes it so that I can keep down the amount of carrot plots and pastures that I've got going. I'm sorry if that was long-winded. Let me know if you have
we lost our healer. Anybody know how to heal?
Hey, thank you for running around with us for a bit, Peoria.
Yeah, thanks, Peoria. We appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, it's a little bit to take in, Doran. It's
hey, hallelujah! I have a job, you know. If you want to come, you know, heal.
This game, it's got a lot of depth to it that is not apparent from just the surface, and that's one of the reasons why we're going through these tutorials and just taking things slow, so that we can sort of teach you guys a little bit of that depth instead of just letting everybody get thrown into the fire and saying, here you go, try it out, scratch the surface.
We might have to learn how to heal, guys.
Alright, so
there's a lot of depth in this game. Sinister, hit him with the flex. Your legs look tired, bro.
What zone did you guys go out of? I sort of got distracted.
We went out
talking about
northwest.
Horses.
Give us a spam and see if we can find us a healer. Anybody heal? Hey. 3 or 4 days from now, we're just fine.
Dark Souls.
I agree that the yellow and red zone, or the yellow and blue zones, are harder because they IP cap you. So if anybody doesn't know, like, they actually scale your item level down in blue zones and yellow zones. So once you get away from them to where you're not capped, it's a lot nicer. So
yeah, so makes it so that if you bring nice gear, you're just wasting your money, Because if you get knocked down in your nice gear, you're paying the bill, but not getting the benefit. And I'm not sure exactly what it caps at, but it's pretty low.
Let's see if we can find ourselves. Oh, great. That's nice party tell.
Yeah, let's search in our party for
we're gonna find
our people. So, are any of our watchers wanting to jump in with us?
And if you have any questions, we can actually go over, say, farms and stuff like that. We can make a video. We're going to work that way as we're unlocking premium. Once we get premium unlocked, we're going to set up farms. We're going to set up laborers. We're going to go through that route. And if you want to see that stuff earlier, we can make a video of just that stuff on different characters. So,
yes, the trial key.
we talked about that yesterday. On the forums, there's usually a forum post of people giving away trial keys. Go to Albion Online, and you can get a free 7-day trial.
Yes.
So, there's usually quite a few people giving them out. So, go on there, put a post, say you want one. Odds are somebody will get you one pretty quick. So.
Yep, and that'll give you 7 days to try the game out and get started. At the end of that 7 days, you have the option to continue on with your... what's it called, with your account and keep your character and everything. So it's actually a good way to go.
And that at least lets you play it if you're wanting to, step in before it becomes free to play. I wish I had hundreds to give away, but that is not the case, sadly. So let's see what we find here. We might be making a T2 character with a T2, fire staff and unlocking it.
Hey now, what's my fire staff? You need my fire staff for something?
No, we need a hill. Do you have a T2 fire staff?
Yeah, I've got a T2 fire...
Do you have a T2 cloth chest piece?
Oh, you want one?
Yes.
Let me go see if it's sold on the market yet. It might have. Like I said, I'm scrounging coins since this character is pretty poor.
Let's go see how much one of these costs. Usually I craft everything, but we'll see what we can afford.
I have a T3 torch. Goodness, I should have the mats to just be able to make you one.
You guys think I'm rich? No. 29% above average? Come on now. Give me a second here.
Okay, I've got a T3 fire staff, but that's not going to help
you
out at all, is it?
Hey babe, where I'm running down here, will you find us a couple DPS? I guarantee there's somebody around here that wants to deeps for one of these.
Alright. I can certainly do that.
Thanks for sticking around with us, guys. We appreciate it. That's how it's supposed to work in theory, Hers is mine, but it usually turns around what's mine is hers.
Yeah, his is his, and mine is his.
That's probably more the truth than I'd like to admit. We're kind of being in these dungeons right now because that's what people like. But if there's something else you want to see on here, we can swap it up. We can go to something different. We can swap characters if you want to see... if you want to go look at islands right now, Murphy, we can change that stuff up. So, we're here for you, And hopefully we put on a good enough show that you want to hang out with us, so.
Oh, goodness, this isn't Fort Sterling Bridgewatch.
Yeah, we're used to playing out of Fort Sterling. We have since launch, so.
Hey, and we appreciate you guys coming and watching us again. It makes it a lot of fun to have return people.
Now we're just starting, so it's nice to see people coming back. So that's a plus for us. So this is day 2 of this, and it's been fun so far. It's gonna stay fun. So
are we doing one in Lazy Love? No, I don't think we're doing one yet, right?
Unless you find a healer, you can spam for heals and see if we find one. If not, you know, we're gonna go full noob. Maybe it'll let us in, guys. There we go.
Alright, just make sure you bring the levels. Alright, Doran, alright, Samurai, looks like Doran found you a key. He is unlocking your... I don't have a good terminology for it. He is unlocking your door to play Albion for you.
Oh, we're gonna go hardcore here, guys.
Alright, so now we have our people.
Alright, give me just a second. Your healer is preparing to let all of you die. It's the nice part about this game, guys. You can swap up your build on the fly depending on how much time you want to put into it, what kind of gear. If you're noticing what I'm
Unlocking
crafting...
to T4 is pretty easy. So it's a good way to go if you're just wanting to try out a couple of builds, see how much you like them and stuff like that. T4 is easy to do, and if you want to try them a little deeper, then you could always get the 4.2, 4.3, 4.1, just to try them out a little bit more damaging, because the 0.1 is actually equivalent to a T5. The 4.2 is equivalent to T6, and the 4.3 is equivalent to T7. Now, if you get 4.3 Masterpiece, that's equivalent to wearing flat T8 gear. Just so that you guys are aware.
I'm relearning how to make a book, so don't mind me. Yeah, I'm about there, guys. I'm working on it, so.
That's not one of our viewers. Samurai. That's one of the people that I added. So they have no idea what's going on.
Stranger danger. The nice part, Samurai, when you start the tutorial in this game, they reworked it recently, and it's a lot nicer. It kind of takes you into the first town. Spend some time in that first town you get to. If you want to gather craft, I don't know what you're into playstyle-wise, but spend a little bit of time filling out that part of the game. Look at the Destiny board. When you get in, open up the Destiny board and look through all of the weapons, the abilities on all the weapons. Everything's different, so take some time, get familiar with it.
Now, do we want to find a T4 or a T3 dungeon?
T4. There's no T3s.
Okay.
And I apologize hitting with the flex. It's going to be a second until I have my healing unlocked. So
4.1, 4.2, and 4.3, that refers to the enchantment level. those are what we call sparkles. So the mats...
We can stay faction flagged. I will refaction up. I couldn't actually zone into that town back there being factioned up, so I had to drop it, and I'll re-pick it up right here. So we can stay faction flagged.
So if a creature has an enchantment level material on it, it's going to sparkle that color. So for example, 4.1 creature, it's no tier 3, no tier 2 will have sparkles. T4, T5, T6, and T8 are what's going to have sparkles, but you can only make 8/1 for example, leather. You can only do 8/1 leather using 7/1 leather. And you can only make 7/1 with 6/1 and 6/1 with 5/1, etc. So you have to have the different level of sparkles to get higher in them. And to even gather the sparkles, you would have to have the tool that you're using completely unlocked. So you would have to have a T4 tool completely unlocked to where you can gather base T5 mats in order to... Oh, goodness.
All right, let's go out northwest. Everybody head out northwest.
Someone just took our dungeon, dang it.
Sad days, guys.
But yeah,
how many people
to gather
went into
T4 sparkles, it was 2 people that went in.
Oh,
to gather T4 sparkles, we have to gather...
We can be those
able
guys.
to gather 5 flat. Does that make any sense? We'll get into this more later. Once we can do the T4 sparkles. So once we get our T5 tools unlocked, we can show you the gathering the sparkles.
Let's see if we can make some new friends.
Yeah, let's make some new friends or make some new enemies. One or the other.
Depending on how many people are in here, we might just group up with them and go through, and then I'll unlock my healing staff. So
yeah, I feel like sometimes I just go off on rants about different things.
No healer, guys. Still no healer. Give me a second. I'll unlock T3 super fast, hopefully. Like 4 mobs fast. Sorry, Sinister.
Oh, no,
hit him with the flex. Run away, bro. Run away. We're getting there. I wish there was a T2 healing staff, bro.
Yes. Hallelujah. That is correct.
Get on the ad over here.
And if you get 4.3, it's the same as oh goodness. Yeah, it's the same as T7, but if your 4.3 is masterwork quality, then it's equal to a flat T8. So the quality of armor as well as the enchantment level are what affects things. And that's why if you see
kite away, bro. I'm almost there. I'm almost there.
If you see if you see a piece of gear on the market that's the same expensive as one that's a higher quality, you always take the higher quality one if they're the same price.
Dude, bro, we're almost there. Hopefully I unlock it with this. Maybe.
Whew, we survived.
Let's see what we need.
Oh, Rave didn't.
One mob, and we got a healing staff. All right, guys.
And these other people stole our loot.
Sad days. Let's kill one mob, and then I got a healing staff.
How mean of them.
So nice, so nice. Hit him with the
I claim this dungeon. Very nice, Sinister. If we kill the mobs, they're just going to take every chest to make it not worth it. Maybe we just want to go find a different one.
We can go get a different one if you guys want. I have a healing staff now, though. On a plus side, I can heal. Oh, they came back in. Let's just keep going, babe.
Oh, really?
If you want, you can pick up one of these guys if you want. This dropping dude right here. I mean, he's getting tired. Sorry, bro.
What? I don't know. Are all our people still in, or did...
Trade's on his way up here. Grab these two right here. I don't know who this guy is, so let's get going here.
They're already in a party.
Alright.
Let's just go find a different one.
Trade, get up to us here. Yeah, let's just drop out. If we're
Let's just go find a different one.
Nah, we can claim this. If you want to invite him, tell him you want to invite him, babe. I wish we could flag up. We're in a blue dungeon, bro.
Yeah, blues you can't.
Just so everybody's aware, you're going to have to share. It happens. The joys. Let's find us a different one and move on.
Yep. And it's still new enough to this that I don't know exactly where they're going to spawn either. That one was just too close to the town exit. Everybody could see it. Yeah, no fun when something like that happens, but I think those guys were just going to snipe all the boxes out from under us. It really wouldn't have been
Did they all
fun.
come out of the dungeon? Let's just go find something. There's going to be one close.
Yeah, there's got to be one close.
Go back in this one. Everybody back to the one that we were just in. They came out. We're good to go. So
They came out?
Yep, let's go.
Oh, man, I just found one.
Is everybody with you, babe?
No.
The joys, just so you guys know,
They're all down
leveling,
there.
it's all fun. So, back into it. Let's do this. Take two. And just so you know, for anybody who wants to be a healer, a good way to start healing, get your key bindings set up. Depending on what games you've played before, if you know your key bindings, set them up. I set my switch select party members on my 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 key. So when I go to like swap to somebody, I just have to push the button that's right above my Q, W, and E. So I think they're normally set to F1, F2, F3, F4. And it's just a little bit of a stretch for me, so... By the way, six coin samurai. We appreciate the follow, bro. Sorry if I missed it there when we were in the middle of all this.
You.
We appreciate it very much.
Thank you very much. And I sort of go off of when Bacon can see them because I can't read it on my thing. We need to change it to a different color.
All right, you coming in here?
Yeah, I'm trying to find the entrance. There it is.
Zumbig coming?
He's coming back this way, yeah.
Stay on the outside there.
I am.
Yeah, there's a little advertising there, guys. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Hey, it'll make it so you can hear us, right?
Yes, that'd be nice.
Hey now, no
With
showing
them,
leg,
so in the
Bacon.
dungeons, in a yellow zone, we could have all redded up and actually fought them, or even in a red zone. But we're in a blue zone right now, so unless they're a faction of a different town, we cannot fight them. So
Yep,
in
unfortunately.
this case, we would have to share with them. So, and with that stuff, people tend to go for the bosses, pull everything else. So,
Thank you, Sinister. You make this so fun.
yeah, hit them with the flex, bro. We appreciate it. Just so everybody knows, Sinister here, he's like MLG endgame player, you know. He knows how to play the game. He's currently carrying us in his backpack, so. And this character has no skills in healing, so you guys get to unlock it with me, so.
Woot woot.
And I suggest for anybody who's new to healing, if you play a lot of solo game, go with the Nature Staff. Nature Staff, you can pretty much solo any mob on the surface by yourself. But when it comes to group playing, play Holy Staff. It's just in a way better position than the Nature is right now. And unlock your T4 before you do a random, guys. Don't be that guy.
Level 2.
And if these guys die, I'm going to feel real bad. So I'll do the best I can with what I got. And be aware, if you are healing when you zone into a new zone, there's a bug that makes it to where everything on this side more or less resets to the stock. So you can move the party frames to put whoever you want to heal in what position. So doing solo content, honestly, one of the better ones for me is Leather. Leather has a few different abilities, but you can go Cloth. Just remember, Cloth, you're going to get an increase in damage you take. So by wearing Cloth, mobs that are hitting on you are going to do so much more damage. So yeah, if you want to heal group healing, go Cloth. And if you want to do it on the other, Cloth is like the way to go. The boots you can switch around depending on what you want. Obviously, I'm healing the wrong person.
Never happened. Never happened.
And the more you play on something, the higher your specialization gets. So your healing, it gets easier as time goes on. So just be aware. Put some time into it. It's going to get easier. So to start with, it's going to be hard. And then you're going to start unlocking it, and it gets a lot easier. But progressing as a healer by yourself is very hard. Healing, you're more or less locked to group activities. Some gathering, if you play Nature, you can actually solo pretty much all of the aspects in the game as a Nature healer. So it's just a slow fight. You're going to spend 15-20 minutes on the same fight. So.
And it does take a bit of a learning curve to figure it out. For each of these things, really.
Sorry we didn't have any sound going, guys.
Really?
I got it going again. Well, music anyways.
Oh,
You get to listen to our elevator music. On days that we're not doing Project Albion, we'll put a lot more jammy tunes on, so.
Yep. Oh, look at me. I'm so used to
I
being
will agree
tanked.
with that. Nature healing is super strong solo.
Thank
And
you.
if you're getting ganked as a nature healer, depending on what staff you have on, you can pretty much kite around for hours, so. Depending on the size of the group. What are you doing, huh, Switch?
She decided the lap is not good enough.
Yes, and how Sinister's putting right here, move and cast. With the nature heal staff, you actually can move while casting heals, so. Healing's fun in this game. Honestly, it's a little bit of a learning curve. You gotta set up your key bindings. That's like the easiest thing. If you're trying to click somebody's bar in the middle of fighting, like, it is a lot harder. And when your group gets above 6, so when you get the 7th player, a raid frame pops up that you can move around the screen. So put it where it's kind of more convenient to heal them with. Takes a little bit of getting used to. Hopefully they fix the bar issue where people don't move. I like to put my tanks together, my melee DPS together.
Yeah, just make it easy for yourself.
My tank's always on 1. Usually if I'm running with melee, they're my 2 or my 3. And then, or whoever takes the most damage. Because some people tend to stand in everything in the game. So those people you put in a special spot. So
yeah, aka me.
See this guy right here, Diane? Yeah, those people are always going to be in your party.
Doesn't matter what you're doing. You're always going to have some of them.
Thanks for chilling out with us, guys, by the way. We enjoy it. We enjoy giving you guys some content.
Yep.
Any questions, anything you want to see, any gameplay you want to see, you know, feel free to ask away. We will do the best we can to answer it or to show you how to do it. So
those that just started watching, feel free to ask any questions. If there's any specific questions you have that you have not seen us answer, or just are curious about anything,
just a second, bro.
Let us know. This rat is ridiculous.
That cat weighs 400 pounds, by the way.
500. It's 500 pounds.
That's how my wife gets out of doing stuff. She's like, but I have the cat. I can't come do it. It's too heavy.
Yeah, I might have pulled that a couple of times. And so he teases me and says the same thing when he's holding it.
Yeah, so I'll go grab the cat and put it on my lap. Like, I can't do dishes now. I'm sorry. It's way heavy. Laundry, it ain't happening. This cat is on my lap.
Woo, and then there's Hendis just sitting in the fire. He's gonna be in that special zone pretty quick. Well, looks like we're going to level 3, guys. Appreciate those that have just started watching. Let us know if you have any questions. Bacon here knows a lot about different builds, so if you have any that you're interested in, feel free to ask about it. Yes, I am Hendis.
Yeah, Scarlet's Hendis right now, you know. Maybe we need to make her a TeamBakin Scarlet character.
Team Scarlet?
I would join your team, babe.
You already did.
Back, bro. There we go.
So you have T4 unlocked, Bacon?
I'm working on it. I can LP. So if you guys don't understand how LP works in this game, every day when you have a premium account, you're going to get 20 LP points. It's more or less a fast forward to skipping gear. I suggest starting with a character, pick something like a tool. LP or tools, because they're going to make you money long term over a weapon. And then take the time, put it into that, because unlock it. Eventually you're going to have everything unlocked. If you put enough time into this game, everything will open up. So
yep,
let's see if we can LP weapons
every single thing in the game. It just is going to take time.
We're almost there. We're going to hard unlock this, guys.
All right.
And with this weapon we're using here, the E actually gets to increase the less health the person has. So if they're way low or close to dying, you pretty much double heal them for what it normally heals for. So remember, one of the best ways to make money, spend your focus on gear that you're crafting, 0.3 gear, things like that you're going to get a return back on resources, or invest it into farming, because farming is a good way to make money. Everybody's always needing food. We can go over food, pots, things like that. End game, you're going to go out, you're always going to have pots, you're always going to have food. It makes going through mobs so much faster, and then you don't have to stop as much on poles. So
yeah, and some people absolutely require you to have yeah, there I go acting like I'm a tank. Some people require you to take things like poison pots when you go and do like the T7, T8 dungeons with them, because if you don't, it's just a huge amount of time that you're wasting, as well as the mobs are a lot harder.
And if you want to be a farming character, like farming is your thing, consider making all 3 characters on your account premium. You know, when we go over, there's a lot of ways to make money. Farming is a way, but you need the focus from them, and you need the farm plots. So,
and once we get into the black market, that can be something that you farming people really enjoy too. It's like we were telling people yesterday, the black market's actually where these items that are dropping, not the runes and stuff, but the actual cloth items, metal items, weapons.
And we unlocked it, boys.
Oh, yay.
And girls, you know.
Alright, so the black market is where those items are coming from. Players craft those items, and then they sell it to the black market, and the black market disperses it through the mobs in the game.
There is a focus cap, so focus caps out at 30,000. So every 3 days you have to use your focus. So if you take a couple days off, yeah, you're just wasting it at that point in time. And that's more or less free money, free seeds. When you get into farming, you use your focus, and it's a good thing. We'll go over farms here before we log off tonight. We'll go over, I think I have some farms I need to pick up on my main character. We'll switch over, and we'll do a little bit of farming, switching things.
Oh.
I'm not big into the farming side so much. That's more of Scarlet's thing, so I do a little bit here and there. So, but I'd say,
a word of advice. Before you buy seeds and animals and stuff from the little person that sells them on your island, do not just go purchase them. Go to the marketplace and see if anybody is selling them.
Yeah, usually an auction house, even if you go to Caerleon and you run down a few zones, you might spend 600 on carrot seeds that cost 1,000 a piece. So sometimes that's a nice, easy way to save a little bit of money. So, and with carrot seeds, when you water them, you get 2 seeds in return. So when you water them, you start out with 1 farm. Tomorrow you have 2 farms worth. If you water both of those, you have 4 farms worth, and it can go on from there. But remember, watering, it takes 1,000 focus per whatever you're watering to start with. The more you pick up and water them, it drops. It decreases in the amount of focus, and it ends up being 150 at the end. So you can do 1 farm to start with, more or less. You can do all 9 plots at the end. So
yes. Yep, so it's expensive focus to begin with, and then it gets better as you unlock levels in, like, your carrots or whatever. If you're planning on doing mounts, I'd say stick with the carrots. There's no point in going anything higher, because at that point you have to unlock the higher, and you get less of a seed return the higher you go. That's just something to remember as you're going through. Carrot soup's pretty popular. Just when it comes to feeding buildings, that's something that a lot of people will go for if they're just wanting to craft something and they find their building is too hungry to let them craft. It's something that's simple. It's something that they can get pretty decently. Each building, we'll go into this later as well, each building has a favorite food, so it actually will gain more nutrition if you feed it its favorite food. Some of those nutritions are specifically for carrot soup, so any tier of food that you do will have people buying it.
And for you, Murphy, I know that you were wanting to just gather. There's actually foods that increase the yield from gathering.
Yes.
So there's pies in the game, and when you eat a pie, it increases the yield from that. They go all the way up to T7. And the better the pie, the better the yield.
Yep, I always take
that.
Me some pork pies when I go out gathering my T7, T8 leather.
And there's actually foods that increase with crafting. If you're doing higher tier crafting, they'll actually improve the quality of what you craft. So sometimes they're a little bit of investment, but it's worth it if you're mass producing something. So if you got mats saved up for like 20 staffs and it's like 8.3, use food. Even if it's 4.3 and you're wanting better quality.
I'm used to going up and popping them.
Carrots, the money's kind of low. Everybody uses some of them at one point in time, but I suggest carrots if you're doing mounts.
Yep, that's
if you're wanting to get into like cooking and self, go into a lot of the higher tier food. The food gets better. Go into soups, go into omelets, things like that that people use. Soups increase your damage. Omelets are your cooldown reduction. You can make sandwiches, which increase the HP of the player. And we can go over a little bit of that before we end tonight and stuff like that. When we get done with this dungeon, we're probably going to work our way back to our islands. I'll go swap characters and we can go over a little bit of the food side of it, the farming side of it, for you guys who are new and want to see some of it. I can't do it on this character. We're going to work our way up to premium, so I can't just unlock it right now, so...
Yay, my character's higher reputation. Oh, by the way, when you increase your reputation, it makes it so that it's harder for other players to knock you down. Just so you know.
And hit him with the flex. Are you down for some black zones after this? I bet we could find a few more people, so I don't know if your friend's on tonight or not. Story of my life on drops, guys.
What did our friend in this channel say? I'm literally getting no drops. Okay, that's what he said. Man, I cannot wait to show you guys the animal side of things. Because I have a lot of fun with it. It's just something you do once a day, but...
That's the thing about farming, is it is just once a day. You get on, you do your farms. Laborers you pick up once a day. And we'll go over a little bit of the laborers also.
Yeah,
we'll do a more in-depth. We might need a whole day on just laborers, setting up buildings, building buildings. We can do that. You know, I'm gonna... Because it gets overwhelming and you think there's a lot, but really as you start playing the game, you kind of just progress to it. So you're not going to have all the resources. But if you don't have a resource, you can buy it off the auction house. Say pick one tool and max one tool out first. I always suggest that's the fastest way to... You can sell resource to buy something else, but T8 sells for a lot more than T4.
Yep. And my leather, if I were to be lucky enough to get a T83 leather, one raw one of those would sell for about 200,000. And that's just raw. So they get pretty good.
Good job, team.
Yep, good job, team. Oh, this isn't a bad box either.
And as we've been killing mobs because we've been factioned up. Oh, yeah, we know who's winning here.
Judicator.
Certain items sell for a lot more than other items, just so you guys know. Be aware, when you get a good drop, you could make $1 million on just one of those dungeons if you do it right. So
yeah, the
farm the
Judicator
dungeons, spend
stuff
some time
is
in
some
them.
of the higher end stuff.
Give me a second. We're going to swap characters. We're going to go show some farming side of things. That's what you guys are wanting, so we'll go at least show you the basic of the farm, the island, and go on from there.
Yep, we'll dip your toes into it.
Thank you guys for running with us, by the way. We appreciate it.
Yep, we really do. It's a lot of fun. And you guys make it so much fun to just do this streaming. I'm sure I said it yesterday. I'll probably say it again next time. But I'm really enjoying the interaction that you guys have been giving us.
And the drops weren't that bad, you think? Yeah, thanks for running with us, Trade.
Yep,
we'll do
thank
more.
you, Trade.
We'll do more, so... Sorry, we've got to get so much in a time frame. If not, our video ends up super long, so... Give me a second. We're going to swap screens, switch characters, and then we'll be right back.
Ugh.
Alright, you guys, sorry about that. One of our mains for a minute, so we're gonna go to the islands. When you're in your town, if you push the map, you're gonna see the nice, we're going to Hawaii look here, the island merchant. When you first build your character, once you have 30 days of premium, you can unlock your island. So go unlock it. If you're gonna spend the gold you get early game, if you buy one of the packs, spend it on island upgrades. It's never going to hurt. You're always going to need them. So we'll go swap to some island gear real quick. Usually I suggest if you get into farming, get a good mount, get a good bag, and then you can swap through everything.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this.
No, you do not have to maintain premium to keep your island. You do, however, need premium to gain focus. If you don't have premium, you don't get focus, which means you don't get seeds in return. So remember that as you're doing it, you know? And we'll go start at my island, and then we'll work our way into Scarlet. So, Scarlet, before you get your stuff, hang out for just a second.
Okay, I'll write a different mount since you're on that one.
So when you first start unlocking your island, mine's not that high a tier on this character. I actually have several characters with islands, so But as you pick up resources to start with every day, if you focus it, and we'll go over focusing, when you place an item, it plants the seed and then you see the water bucket above it. You have to water it in order to get the seeds to come back every day. If not, there's only a seed yield 18%. When I water it, it increases it by 91%. So I always get that seed back. Sometimes there's a chance of procking a second seed. So
yep, and that's just for the higher ones. Like I said, carrots, you'll always get 200% if you water it. If you don't water it, you get 0%.
And we actually, I wish everything was 100% unlocked on this and super low, but we had a kid, we took some time off from playing video games, so real life kind of won in that one, so.
It depends. If it's the city that you're out of, then it doesn't cost anything. If it's like Bridge Watch to your island attached to Thetford, it's going to cost, unless you're naked.
And my island is based in Fort Sterling, so that's where we water out of. If you try to transport stuff, so you can go from town to town via the fast travel, we can go show you that, but it is really not cost effective. Sometimes it's better to ride a mount than it is, depending on how much you want to move. And we talked about towns having bonus on resources. Bridge Watch, where we were at, gave us rock increase and these weapons and gear.
Martlock gives you leather increase. That's
and then as you go, we're in
like
Fort Sterling. You're going to see as we get into town here, you get an increase in wood, hammer, spear, holy staff, plate helmets, cloth armor. So look at that stuff as you're doing because you get an increase. And you get this increase even if it's on your personal island. So when you create an island, you can build buildings on it. You can not pay any taxes, but you have to feed buildings in order to craft on them. So they have to have food in order to want to make you stuff. So they don't just work for free.
Okay, and you're on Bacon's Island?
Yep. And if you're farming, a lot of people who do farming, they have a lot of characters. Like, it's like a job. Like, you can make it a job if you really want. It just takes time. Hopefully, eventually, they add farming gear, things like that. They did fishing gear, so we'll see how it goes from there.
Alright, and if you'd like
Bacon, as long as you're naked, you can port to your island wherever. If you see how I have, like, my mammoth and my bag in a bag, a lot of times I'll be in a different zone, and I'll just port here naked. Put my bag on, get on my mount, and go do all my islands, and then go back to where I'm playing at. So,
if you like Bacon, you can show them my gear to let them know what 4-3 Masterwork gear looks like. That's going to be the equivalent of...
You want to see what pay to play looks like,
T8
guys?
flat. Hey, this ain't pay to play.
Look at this.
This
Look at this.
ain't.
Wallet warrior. Wallet warrior. Don't be that person.
But yeah, this is equivalent to T8 flat.
And remember, when you go open world, when you get to the black zone, wear T6, 6-1, sometimes flat 7 when you get it unlocked. There's no point in going in high tier gear if you're running around in a ZVZ, because odds are you're gonna die, so die in something you can replace.
Yeah, Farmville might like this. It's a once a day thing.
Yeah, the thing is, usually you farm when you have your focus and stuff alright, so sometimes I don't even farm every day. It's not my favorite part of the game, but it's part of it. You might enjoy it, so put some time into it.
Yeah, I've done really bad these last couple of days. Hey, Hachi.
Oh, Nisko, how's it going? How's it going? We appreciate the Ox. I hope things are doing good today. You know, we're going to do dungeons here in a bit again. If you want to come heal for them, you are more than welcome. So, we always have room.
It's good to meet you. Alright, so I'm going to get on my other character and pull up
If you want, add Bacon or Scarlet Silvers to your friends, and we'll get you in a group here in a bit. So, we're going to go run some black zones if you're down.
Oh no! Yeah, it's probably going to be a short little bit before
And we were
We've
talking
got-
about laborers and buildings. When you create your island to start with, you're going to get access to being able to build plots on that island. Build a house if you're gathering. There's going to be some basic laborers. Level it up to at least T2, or T4, I mean, which gives you 2 laborers. And you can pick what laborers you want depending on what you're gathering. So we'll do a whole thing on just laborers, so that'll be later. But with laborers, you're going to have journals you can purchase from them. By the tier of journal, you have to level them up. And you got to keep them happy. So in order to give them happiness, you're going to need beds and a table. And then there's going to be journals that you can send them out for trophy journals for them to bring back. And there's a specific, for these I have stone cutters which bring back raw stone. And depending on what tier you're doing is what you get back in return for them. So, and then when you pick them up, more or less, it gives you your book back. You have to buy the initial book. Sometimes go to the auction house, see if you can get them cheaper. And then you put a new journal on them. It tells you how much is the possible return, and then you send them out. So, and I can show you some islands that I have access to that are full of high tier laborers. So,
Hachi, he really liked that you gave it to him. We're actually going from 0 to premium with this streaming. So you really did help him out with that.
I am a new player, Hayachi. I enjoyed hanging out and BSing, so we always do, so. And this is our second stream. We are very new to streaming, so.
Yep.
And someday they're going to fix the travel to where the list. Right now, if you're in a guild, you're going to have access to way too many islands that you don't know anybody's stuff.
So annoying.
Someday it's supposedly on the list of things to do, but when you get there, you know, join a guild. That's my biggest thing to anybody. Join a guild, find people to play with. So oh, we're going to need us some carrots, guys. I know somebody here's got carrots.
You want my carrots?
Hey, I would join your guild if I didn't get in, you know. But I would play with anybody, so I don't care who's in what guild. You know, that part does not matter. I will play with anybody, so. Same goes for Scarlet, so. And a lot of my friends, if I go to my list, we are not in the same guilds.
Hey,
a lot
thank
of us
you
are in
very
different
much
guilds,
for the
so.
follow, Hayachi Dog.
Hey, we appreciate the follow
we really
very
do
much.
appreciate it. We're doing this stream to help new players, and it looks like you like helping new players as well. So we really appreciate you coming in and hanging out with us as well. And if you have any knowledge that these guys ask for, feel free to comment and help them out as well.
So with running, by the way, in the dungeons, so you have a right and left click. If you just right click, it moves your character. To attack a mob, you have to left click that mob. And there is no tab targeting, so you have to actually physically click the mob you want to attack. So you'll get used to it. It's weird to start with. I always say, always move with right click and make it a habit. Because if you're bubbled and you zone through a zone in the black zone and there's reds there, if you are moving with left click, you're going to put yourself into combat. And there's shields as you zone from zone to zone. So train yourself to move with right click. Always move with right click. So it'll save you from dying so much more than you would ever expect it to be. So yeah, the tab targeting, it's sad days, you know. I came from WoW, I was so used to tab targeting, and then it's like, well, you're gonna learn something new today, so.
Little bit of a learning curve.
And when you get your island, level it up as high. I'm obviously slacking. I need to, what is it? You know, do what I preach, you know? I preach putting some time. It's a good investment, you know? Farming's not ever been my strong suit, so.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy price that they ask in some of them. Thankfully, some of them, like the Martlock leather, they actually keep it pretty decent there on some of them.
Yeah, right-click only moves your character. So, you see this rabbit right here? If I'm right-clicking, I will never physically attack that character, even if I get the sword.
Yeah, exactly, Morbos.
So, you have to left-click to start attacking, and then you can start moving with right-click. Now I feel bad. I killed a rabbit. It did nothing. It did nothing.
Spam spacebar? What does spacebar do? Let me learn something.
Yeah, my spacebar is actually bound to my Q for self-healing. So I changed my key binding. Spacebar does nothing for me.
What does spacebar supposed to do?
I don't know.
I've never used it.
Mine's been heal for forever, so you know.
Auto attack. Oh.
Someday when I grow up.
Oh, that's cool to know. Bacon might not get as upset with me in PvP fights.
By the way, if you guys saw, I just picked up a T6 horse I had on the ground here. When you go to feed them, if you see the offspring yield, mounts take multiple days to grow. The higher the tier, the more days it takes.
It's
so
okay,
when you feed an item,
I'm sure when he gets a higher one, he'll go ahead and donate it to one of our newbie players that are needing some help out.
Hey, that ox is going a long ways.
Yeah. He's done a lot of gathering to help show these guys things, so.
And if you guys noticed, I just fed and nurtured this horse. It has a growth bar. Every day you're going to have to come back and feed it. The food only lasts for 24 hours and then nurture it again to increase your offspring yield. You can grow it without nurturing it, but there's a chance you're not going to get a full back in the horse's case, so.
Yeah.
Same thing goes with sheep, other animals. I actually make pies, so I have sheep's milk. And with sheep, to get milk back from them, you just give them something. I'm obviously going to go find some carrots before we do that, but they'll produce milk every day without having to focus them. And you do get some fame by doing it, so. But in order to get sheep back, same thing. You pick them up. We'll go find a baby sheep here. Hopefully we got some carrots laying around.
Yep, show him that part of things. I don't think you need me at all. You're doing so good showing them everything on yours.
And we actually have our own just little guild island that we made crafters. Sometimes the crafting stations get so bad on taxes that you can't do anything. So we've actually built some of our stuff. Some buildings are T7, T6. Depending on what we have, we don't use them. I don't say ever craft on an island. Island is your last choice of places to go.
I help keep him on task. What do you think? Do I help keep you on task?
I get distracted, so I see a sparkle. If I did a gather stream, you guys would see me just go in circles, so. Hey, we could.
Oh, hey.
We could, you know. And actually, we might be giving away one of the Spectral Direwolves also on release day, so. Hopefully, our goal is to keep giving you guys a good stream, but we want to have some fun with it also.
Yeah.
There will be some giveaways throughout it. We're going to be giving away mounts and stuff like that, but I don't want a full giveaway stream. I want that for people who are here supporting us as we grow. You know,
yeah, we want
as we follow. We want it about Albion itself, not about you showing up to get some free loot from the game, but there will be some surprise giveaways as we go, so.
Yep, we want you guys to be interested in the stream itself and what we're trying to teach you guys, rather than just coming to get the handouts and then just abandoning
Never come
us.
back to the game.
Yeah.
So we want to build a community that's going to stay with us. We're planning on being in Albion for a long time.
Yeah, we're in it for the long haul.
So hopefully as we grow, everybody's here. We can grow as a community, you know. I like to know everybody who we play with in our channel and stuff like that, so it's nice to get to interact with you guys and playing with everyone. We enjoy it a lot.
Yep, we really do. Whether you're hanging out for 5 minutes just to give us some grief or you're staying for the whole stream, we really do appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm excited for the next weekly mount also. If anybody doesn't know how this works, when you have premium status, you go up to the Adventurers Challenge. If you have an account now, we actually have a chest to claim, so we can go over a chest also.
Yeah, show them that. Those are pretty
but
awesome.
You get a free mount every single month. By just showing up and doing it, takes hardly anything. You get the bonus 50,000 for 1,200 fame. It's super easy to get. Just play every day, and these are going to unlock in no time. And you get boxes. They actually have a day cap on the boxes, so each chest unlocks after a certain period of time throughout the month.
It's like 3
so
days.
It's free money though. If you want to do your premium,
itself, but it's every
mount.
7 days. They break it into each week that they'll open it up. So the first unlocks on the 1st, the second unlocks on the 7th, the third unlocks on the 21st, or.
You could possibly get the bear if you have it right now. We still have a few days. It's not out.
Something like that.
You're going to have to grind different. So
yeah,
in order to unlock the bear, you have to
fast.
hard grind this, which is not impossible. It's super easy. So you can grind all of this by just playing. So if you just started today, the month's not over. So I would be faming. I would go find things to fame on. To get it. You can get it by killing mobs. You can get it by gathering. You can get it by fishing. You don't get it by crafting and refining, though. So be aware there are some limitations on how far you can go. Yeah, if you're at 150K, you're almost there. You're like a fifth of the way through. So just keep going. You'll get it.
Yeah, keep going. And something, if you notice the bear there, it says it's T7. You do not, these are one of the only exceptions. You do not have to be T7 unlocked to ride these ones. The monthly ones, anyone can ride them. If you're a fresh T1 straight out of the tutorial, you can ride these mounts. It's pretty awesome that they did it that way. But the season rewards for being active in guilds, if your guild scores high enough, those ones are the same way. And then these ones, anyone can ride them.
And you guys saw right there, we had gold chest packs on here, and we actually have some fame books. So when you go to use a fame book, these ones are bound. You can't sell these on the market. This one you can. So the tome we're probably going to put up for sale because that's some free money. And then the ones that we're going to use, make sure when you use it, you put on the gear set that you want to use
the one that you want to unlock.
And remember, don't use it when you have your gather gear on. Make sure you put on real gear.
Yeah, otherwise you're just wasting it. If you put it on your gather gear, you're just wasting it.
And in my case, we're going to go Scarlet's Island here as soon as we use these books, so...
Why are we going to mine? Are you going to go slaughter some pigs?
Well, you were going to show some of the more mounts and actually how a real island should look and not how mine looks, so... But pick your set of gear you want to use it on, and then use your fame books on it.
Well, I can't say mine's the best example.
I wish that you got fame towards your farming gear.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I would have a lot of fame.
Let's see, do I have the right stuff on?
Somewhere there's a leather chest here, I swear. There we go.
I don't have the leather one nice and prettily organized, though. Yeah, the leather, I actually have most of it in Martlock right now, so that's not very much leather compared to what I usually have.
Everything, we're kind of condensing it all right now. We tend to go out, we like to go out in the black zones and gather together, have a good time with that.
Yeah.
You know, maybe later in the game we'll do
a
some
lot
of
more
that.
PvP.
So. And if you guys see, my wife's island, she has houses. She actually has stuff on every plot and every plot unlocked. It's a good way to make money. She makes money. I just run around. And when we talk about kennels, difference between an animal plot, to grow regular mounts, you can grow them here where the pigs are. And then in the game, there's rare mounts that drop off of mobs as you kill them. Right now, we're growing some swamp dragons. And Those mounts, you can either sell them or you can grow them up, saddle them, and sell them. And there's a chance of them actually procking a pup, which then you get a little bit more benefit from your stuff. So
nice, Hachi. And everybody, the Swamp Dragon is one of my favorite mounts when it comes to gathering. They are super fast, but they also carry a lot.
And with tools early game, pick one tool.
Yep.
We've only been back for a couple months now, and because we took a break, we had a kid. I already put that out there. But pick one tool, max it out instantly, like as fast as you can. Stick with that tool as long as you can. We play multiple characters, depending on how much LP you have. If you want multiple accounts, LP one thing as fast as you can. That's the best way. Pick one tool. If you're going to spend your LP points, LP a tool. Because if you're going to gather, that's a good long-term investment. And you're never going to go wrong by LPing a tool. Because, yes, you can hard grind it. But if you can gather T8 sparkles versus being able to gather T6, it's night and day difference. So, and the money's way different in the price of resources. So,
Hachi, Oxes carry a lot more. But just for how fast it is, it's a pretty good mount. It's got 1,062 hit points. I'm looking at an outstanding quality one, but it's 1,062 hit points for this one, 90 move speed, and that's whether it's got a monster hitting it or not. So you're never going to lose speed on it. You're always going to be able to zip through. And then the max load is 1,125.
Let me see if we got a lizard in this bag here. The reason
for the price and stuff, it's pretty awesome.
Lizards are a great mount if you're a gatherer. So if you're gathering, and the reason why they're so good, and a lot of people don't actually use the lizards, and we like to have a few. Hopefully there's some laying around somewhere here. I got a lizard. We'll find it, guys. But the reason why is they have a flat move speed. So if a mob is hitting you, it doesn't reduce the move speed of your mount. So if you notice, we're riding on this dire wolf, we're going, all of a sudden it procs and you see like a little wind coming out behind. That shows you the increase of the move speed. So when you get galloping, then you increase your move speed. With the lizards, that move speed is always the same all the time. And for some reason in the world of Albion, there has to be mobs scattered everywhere in every zone. So you'll learn as you gather, mobs are annoying. They drive you crazy. But when you get on a lizard, it doesn't slow you down. So you always run the same speed. We'll go over this.
The lizard's price.
Come on, lizard.
It's doable to take it out in bad zones. Plus, it's not quite as easy to knock you down. I usually don't take them out just because I'm very stingy and I just like taking T6 armored horses. But
it depends on what you're willing to donate to somebody else. That's what I say with mounts. If you have one you're willing to donate, but if you look, move speed is 90%, gallop speed is 90%. So when a mob's hitting you, you don't slow down. You just run through the mob and you keep going. And it's actually faster based. So if somebody's on you, you're faster on a lizard than you are on a dire wolf if you're being attacked. So, and remember, if somebody throws a poison pot at you or anything like that, it takes away the gallop speed bonus. So you go down to the base speed of the mount.
Yep, and notice the direwolf, the mount hit points are 405 there, while the lizards is over 1,000. So it's a lot harder for them to knock you off too.
And that increases. Every mount has a good bonus. Bears are really hard to get dismounted from. I like running around on bears. Fort Sterling has bears as their mount. Let's go to the faction vendor and we can talk about that a little before. But if you're into growing mounts and stuff like that, with how we factioned up earlier in Bridgewatch to unlock stuff, as you faction play more and more, you start unlocking. The higher your rep, the more stuff you can buy. Eventually, you can buy cubs with them that you can grow. And this is a rideable mount that you can saddle and ride as you go. So it's one of the perks of do the faction side of it when you can, if you're willing to, you know, if you're playing in the Royal Continent. You know, I spend a lot of time either gathering or out in the black zone running around, so it doesn't benefit me as much, but it's still there for anybody who's starting out. You know, this wasn't around when I started playing. It's something to utilize and use. Just remember, full loot every zone. So
yep, full loot. Yeah, we're at Fort Sterling. It's probably gonna move though once.
We've been moving everything to one island. We have stuff scattered everywhere, and we've been condensing all of our banks and bringing everything back into Fort Sterling right now. We're probably gonna be moving to Martlock once the season ends, because they're gonna be reworking the map, changing how the portals work from Caerleon to the other zones, and as that happens, we'll show you guys on here. So.
Yep.
And hopefully on all the patch days for new content, hopefully we're live and able to play it. You know, that's our goal, is to bring you guys what's going on, what's new, and to help you guys the best we can, especially for new people getting into the game, you know. We'll try to help you guys the best we can.
I'm sure the black zones are going to be crazy during those days.
Wallet Warrior. Someday when I grow up, guys.
Oh, hey, we should go do chest.
And if you guys want to watch, let's go do chest fast.
Let's go do chest.
I'm probably going to get destroyed. I apologize right now.
Well, I'm not in my tanking gear. Is that okay with you?
Either way.
All right. Let's go slash him up with my Deathbringers.
We're going to get destroyed, guys. Guess this is the way to end the stream. We might be redding on our knees, but, you know.
I'll get in my tanking gear.
2 minutes, babe.
Yeah, I've got time. Let's see. Is that all of it? Nope, I need my weapon still.
I mean, nobody knows what zone we're in right now, so. They're doing a one-time island transfer, so, and it's going to be for guild islands and personal islands, so. That is going to happen, so just remember that. Once you use it, though, you're done. That's the only one you get, so there's not going to be two, so. If you go read up on the forums and stuff like that, they even have images of the new Outlands and how they're changing it up. Yes, they will be doing it, so you get a one-time transfer.
Once, and you're going to have 30 days to move it, otherwise it's gone.
Yep, so the initial, find what town, play around with stuff, figure out where you want to be based out of.
Yep,
we're in Sun. Sun's located on a certain side of the map, so we're kind of going to go where our guild is going, so. And we thought about starting a guild. The issue is we have other guilds that we're part of, and we want to stay with the community that we're already playing with, so it'd be really hard to make a guild for just this stream, because I feel like you guys would be the one that are losing in the deal, so.
Yeah, you guys would be losing out, because honestly,
and I know I'd love to, you know, you want to join Sun, you can come play with us, bro.
We're not lifers when it comes to just playing. We have real life stuff that we've got to do. We enjoy getting outside as well.
Oh, hit him with the flex. All right. 1v1 me, bro. Or are you going to play with us?
Yeah, are you playing with us, or are you wanting to fight us?
He wants to play with us. I see how good his gear is. I got to wait for my dot to tick off you, bro.
Hey, you can add me, though.
Hit him with the flex is busy. Quit being busy, bro.
Yeah, it's your fault.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
Oh, Bacon.
This is why we can't have nice things, guys. All right, I'm going to give lead to somebody who actually cares about this.
Go out of the area for a moment. Get away from him.
Hit him with the flex, guys. He's a stud, just so you guys know. If you ever want to come play with us, you know, we've had good times. He got us out in the black zone, so this chest is up, but obviously we're not going to click it yet. We want somebody to play with, so.
All right.
There we go. All right, come on. look at the greeds right here.
You guys can duel later.
You can always tell who's
hit him with the
greedy.
flex. Go ahead and get it. I'll let you open it.
And when you click on these chests, we can show you the side of it. Let's see if there's anything good here first.
Yeah, Bacon, you go ahead and do it.
We can show you on stream what's inside these boxes. So I was hoping somebody'd show up to fight, but hit him with the flex, came and flexed, and everybody ran away. So actually, this isn't too bad. You get a sigil for your back piece, a T8 helm, shoes, and then a couple artifacts. So they're not too bad. Sometimes they're pretty decent.
Oh, yeah, they've got a T8 in there. That's nice.
Hit him with the flex. Look at this. He's missing this piece of gear. Don't worry. We got you. We got you.
Yep, so you can get some pretty good stuff out of those guys.
Well, you don't want the T8, and just for future, you share with the people, you know.
Yeah, you share with
even
the
if
people
you have to
that
chase them down and force them to accept your trade. It's because I didn't take your 4.1 boots, isn't it? That's what this is about. I feel like this is about that, so. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We're going to be doing some randoms after this, but you have anything else for tonight, babe?
No, I think we pretty much covered.
Thanks for hanging out with us, guys.
Everything.
We're going to try to be on this weekend as much as we can. And come hang out with us anytime. If you guys have anything you want to see, hit us up in Discord. Send us a private message. Add us in game and we'll play, you know.
Yep,
if you're looking for content, you have issues with something, let us know what you guys want to see and we'll make it for you. We appreciate everything, guys.
Yeah, we know as new players it can be a little bit hard to get started out, finding people to run with and stuff like that. We've been through it trying to find people to group with us even as higher level characters. So we are very willing to help you guys out, get you learned on some of the things that might take a group. Just let us know, friend us, and we'll do what we can to help you out. And thank you very much for watching. We appreciate everybody that's come and hung out. Typed into our little chat there. If you want, you can join our Discord and just friend us in game, stuff like that, and
we made her nervous, guys.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate it. This is TeamBakin, and this is Project Albion, and we hope you guys enjoyed as we go through the process of making new characters all the way to premium. And please follow, hang out with us. If you guys are in our chat ever and we're streaming, get active. We enjoy it. So thank you guys. You guys all have a good night. Be safe.
Thank you.